deceive. We have come into the night, thunder and rage in war a night. We have come into the night, thunder and rage in war a night. We'll fight for kings, for Ragnarok. Drink her up for Ragnarok, drink her up for Ragnarok, drink her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. Drink her up for Ragnarok, drink her up for Ragnarok, drink her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. I can feel it in my veins, the warrior inside of me. Drink her up for Ragnarok, drink her up for Ragnarok, drink her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. The sound of arms, fierce morality. Nightfall, the rain, and the silence leads. We have come into the night, thunder and rage in war a night. We have come into the night, thunder and rage in war a night. We'll fight for kings, for Ragnarok. Shield wall. Drink her up for Ragnarok, drink her up for Ragnarok, drink her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. Drink her up for Ragnarok, drink her up for Ragnarok, drink her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. I can feel it in my veins, the warrior inside of me. Drink her up for Ragnarok, drink her up for Ragnarok, drink her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla.
Honestly, this
All
year might be-
right, welcome in everybody to Season 5 of Valhalla Esports Week 1. It is finally here, and with me tonight, Malco and Eli Wood.
Hello. I do not agree with this this label that you have on there over my name. I asked for Ray Flamer, not Ray Fanboy number 1. Hello? This is
the
fake
number- the
news.
num- It's the fake news. This is
You-
now officially CNN once again, guys.
You
CNN.
have flamed him so much that you must love him.
That's
You know
not
how they
true.
say-
I hate him. You know how it is.
You know how they say, like, when you bully someone so much, you must like them, right? Like, that's
No.
that's how they're
Are you
trying to. That's
calling
the
me a
logic here.
Tsundere or something?
Hey, man,
Baka?
we never know. His number 2
I'm
flamer.
number 2 Flamer? What? Who's the
Who could be
number
number
1?
one?
Oh my god. I'm getting trolled.
It's the number 1 is all the rest of Valhalla, as we all like to remind Ray about the 4 skill shots in a row missed
Ah.
in that top lane play.
Facts.
Yeah, that's quite a banger clip.
Please tell me.
Alright.
I'm glad that people actually, they clip that, and that's always something fun. And now with this being the week 1 of season 5 for Valhalla Esports, HYG versus FreeSM, this is gonna be awesome as we're looking for even more clips, more big plays, more casting moments, and absolutely great season bangers to come out from these games. And if we are ready, Eli Wood and Blitz, if you guys are ready to go, we can definitely take a look at these lineups.
Before we get to the lineups real quick, I wanted to reflect on the Hall of Champions again, just as the first game. I know we probably talked about it in the Seer, and we had our draft show, but here it is, everybody. Here's our 4 winners before. Los Nomotus, Tide Gaming Mox, again, Season 3, so we'll repeat Season 5, and Season 4 was Bomba Bros, now Bomba Bros Crew. Yep, great, amazing graphic as you're calling out there, Malco. But yeah, just, again, they're fighting for who's going to be the 5th team here.
Yeah.
Will it be one of the 2 we see tonight?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Also, I'm curious if we'll finally have a repeat champion and Bomba Bros will run it back with their season 2 roster minus me, and then win it, and then I'll just be like depressed because I was the reason we lost season 2. Oh, no, wait, season 3. My bad. It
Well,
was season 3 that
find the
I was the
schedule.
roster.
Find the schedule. Figure out when playoffs is. Go cut one of their internets. And sub in for them. Yeah,
Oh, big
easily done.
brain. Thanks, Blitz. We were supposed to mute though first.
Ah, damn.
Dang it,
Yeah.
you let the whole plan go. Now you gotta like now we have to do the hard ways, breaking one of their fingers.
Oh, oh man, that's a bummer. Oh well.
It's a
Here's
bummer.
the
The hard
Let's
lineups.
ways
get
gotta
back
go
to
now.
it.
And with that, guys, we're all having some fun on the casting desk here. As you guys can see, the two teams right in front of you, HYG, our very own residential boy band, versus FreeSM, one of the newer teams captained by one of our gracious admins, Deity. We're going to look at the top lane here on the side of HYG, which is Bonkers, Jungle, TJ, Mid, Marbra, ADC, Jeffrey Crazy, and support Dainty Taco. With FreeSM in the top lane, B Sin, Jungle, Need More, Mothra, Mid, Deity, ADC, Mont Blanc, and the support being the absolutely lovely Ray Was that many people love to flame, but also love to love. Let's go ahead and what do you guys think about these two lineups here?
Hey, real quick, don't sleep on Bonkers. Bonkers is also one of our admins this season.
He is.
That's right, he is. And okay, so we got to just give a quick congratulations for Bonkers now being one of the admins as well. This is how you guys know how sometimes out of touch I am when it comes to who's admin and who's not. I just kind of just sit here and say, "Hey guys, what's going on?"
I'm curious to see if the Bonkers bullying will continue with BSN because I've heard that Bonkers whips his guys into shape. So maybe he'll
Ooh.
whip his old teammate into shape in the top lane. I don't know. Possibly.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Beaston was a HYG member at one point, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like, yeah. Jeez, I love how many of the like the different boy band members that constantly like leave, come back, leave, come back, leave, come back, or like they just leave and then they have to go up against their old team, and it's just like, how many like if anyone can just go ahead and fact check for us who here is no longer an HYG boy who is actually like or was previously on HYG but is on a different team this season, because that's gonna be really interesting to watch HYG having to climb and claw their way against other people that used to be on their teams.
Wasn't Beeson HYG? Sorry, is that what you guys
Yes,
just said?
that's what I was
Yep.
saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Beeson, I think
Perfy's
Smoothie.
out there.
Yep.
Yep. That's right.
Smoothie obviously being the captain of Revolutionary Death Squad now. He has moved on to support his own team, moving away from the HYG boys. So there's actually quite a few different members out there from HYG that are probably going to be looking to take down their old team, but HYG looking to make sure that they can repeat at the very least the season finals, being a season finalist this upcoming season for season 5. But right now, that's looking like a pretty tall glass of water to drink. As you can see, we do have quite a few different, really good and possibly surprising teams to come up. But right now, the first one they're going up against is FreeSM. But I don't think it's going to be a free win here for the side of HYG.
Yeah, I think it's a little tough. I think in my mind, it's a little. Maybe it's a free SM favored. Maybe just like purely evaluating salary wise, because I know Bonkers like is a higher salary than BSN. But I feel like it's easier to like two people who don't play top lane, but it's easier to neutralize. I feel like than it is to like create an advantage in top lane, especially if you're not like a top lane main. And just in my opinion, which means that like the salary difference has to be made up somewhere else on the map. But I believe in Mont Blanc and surprisingly enough, Ray as a duo, mostly as a duo. I don't believe in Ray. To come out either ahead if they have like a more aggressive draft, or they'll probably come out even if they're going for a more late game scaling. And then Deity is Deity. So, and I've played with Mothra a little bit. And he's pretty good. I know TJ can also pop off though, so that's one thing that I think they have to be wary of is TJ popping off. I don't know, unfortunately, enough about Marbra mid lane, so that's a little bit
I
more of an
can
unknown for me.
Marbra, I can kind of attest to a little bit because I think I've actually played with Marbra. Like when I was in Press R, me and Marbra, I believe, were on the same team for a little bit, and he actually was very like no joke. Like he's actually a really really good consistent mid laner, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's guaranteed pulling the. I think he's gonna be guaranteed pulling his Silas ban. Even like if some people are like, oh, Silas isn't that great, for some reason this dude can pilot the champion and make you feel as if your day is absolutely hell. And so like that's something like people have been I honestly don't sleep on Marbra. He's a very consistent player, and even if the salary doesn't show it immediately, trust me, it's not going to be an easy time. Like it's not it's not going to be easy laning immediately against him. And I think Deity is going to show that same exact respect as well. I've actually never really known Deity to be like someone to be like I just like completely disrespect players, or like he may know like his own skill is above somebody, but he's not just gonna go into it disrespectfully where it's just gonna be like I'm gonna stomp this kid out. It's more like, hey, I know I could probably beat this person easily, but let me go ahead and treat it as if someone is still my equal. And as you guys can already see, we're now getting right into the picks and bans of HYG versus FreeSM. HYG on the blue side, FreeSM on the red. Swain and Brand both banned on the HYG side, as they also finish it out with the Melio ban. FreeSM banning out Ari, Udyr, and the Green Jungler, already getting the Green Jungle bans out of here with the Zac ban happening against HYG, making sure that they don't have the ability to engage in, or not necessarily engage, but to make sure that they cannot be able to hyper extend themselves in the early game. HYG then going ahead and picking up a pretty consistent ADC for them to round out the first pick, being the MF, and honestly, personally, one of my favorites when it comes to first picking an AD carry.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I always am a fan of the brand ban, and we're picking out or banning off the Melio, classic Ray Gamer champ, and we're picking up the Hui. I wonder where that's going. Who knows where that's going, guys?
Hey
Huh?
man, that's actually kind of a flex, I think. Still, even if it's primarily been considered like more of the supporting role, but like I've seen some other players such as Junie play in the ADC role. I've seen some people obviously still take it mid to some degree. So you honestly never know where it might be going. They might actually be flexing this one with 3 different people. Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of
Um.
Warwick,
Yep, that's Mothra's Warwick. We let the Mothra's Warwick through. It's a little bit dangerous. I think I played like a game with it or more, and he ganked me. Therefore, I have positive view of it as a top laner.
and I
And we,
like this. HYG
oh
picking
sorry,
up the Sejuani. Sorry about that. I just
no
immediately
problem.
saw that pick and I'm like, yes, that's what we want to see. Like, I really like how HYG is like, this is already looking like a really good like somewhat early game team. Cause again, MF have some of that early game damage where like you get caught by her, she can actually like really literally 1v1 you at level 3 as an AD carry when it's ADC versus ADC sometimes, depending on who you're picking. But like now you have the Sejuani. You did
Whoa,
pick
we
up the
have a wombo
Aurora.
combo.
My God, if the Aurora can trap people in the ult plus that,
I
oh,
think
dude.
you can do it where you Sejar somebody, you Aurora R somebody, and then
MF
you
drop.
MF drop R because the slow for the Sejar could be a crazy combo. I really like it.
And
Oh, we picked the Silas. That's oh man, they're able to do it back right to them.
they said, instead of allowing you guys to flex that Aurora potentially top or elsewhere, we're just going to take away one of Marbra's main known champions and take away the Silas. Probably going to end up giving that to Deity from the way it's looking like. I doubt a Silas top is what's going to be happening here, but it's still a flex, so potential. Luckily, Beard's not in this game, so we know it's not going support. But I would definitely say that it's a very interesting pick, and a very interesting pick here. A lot of good ultimates though from the side of HYG. Silas is actually a really damn good pick. If you get that Aurora ult, Sejuani ult, or the MF ult, it's gonna be a hell of a time to deal with fighting into it. Now we do see the second phase of bans going through, as the Yasuo is the first ban for the side of FreeSM. We then see the Ezreal being banned out by HYG. Second ban of the second ban phase or the final ban for the second ban phase for FreeSM is currently being awaited, but it's looking like they're trying to make sure they make an informed choice on this one. They don't just want to ban anything that might seem kind of stupid. FreeSM trying to make sure that they can win, and the Gwen being taken away from the top side as HYG now looks to make their final cut here on the ban phase. And I believe if they're looking to pincer anything, it's probably going to be the ADC role once again.
I'm gonna take a gander that FreeSM knows Gwen's big secret. Knowers know. But also I feel like that locks with the Silas pick from earlier. It really locks down the positions for their Silas mid, Warwick jungle, and Hui could possibly be flexed into the ADC role, possibly. But I'd still say that most likely just going to Ray at this point because of the Silas pickup.
Yep, and I really do like the fact that they decided to pincer both technically the ADC and support role by taking away that Ash. So now when you take away a champion like that who was extremely flexible, and you see these players are playing towards flex, it seems like, okay, take away any other flex picks. Good job on HYG to ban that out. But we do see the Ornn now picked up a very safe top laner from FreeSM. So now we do know for a fact
Guarantee
that
some late
the
game as well.
Yep. So now we do know for a fact that Hui is definitely going towards the bot side. And if anything, it's probably going to support role. Now with that Ornn picked up, I'm guessing that that might have been HYG's potential pick here. So they're probably confused on what they want for the top side, but it's going to be the Jax it being picked up for the top side here on the HYG side, and it's now just a matter of the support pick here. And I actually wouldn't be surprised if FreeSM's like, hey, we can put the way in the bot and the ADC role. Pick up Braum here.
Oh my god. Oh my god,
And then
Malco!
HYG
Oh
takes
my
the
god,
Braum and
Malco! He's him, guys! Holy crap!
oh man, I now watch if this goes down to the very last second. That's exactly what was supposed to happen. Nope. Instead, they have the backup
Oh
plan with
no!
the Senna support. Is that what we're gonna see? Are we gonna see Senna support?
I think we're having Mont on the Senna, and we're gonna have Ray on the Hui, and we're gonna be Senna farming, and that is why you have Mont. Mont's gonna instantly pick up the Senna because he's like, haha, Braum, you think you're gonna block my auto attacks? Nice try. So
Oh, I'm excited for this one.
really nice flex with that last pick.
And real quick, just a real quick shout out everybody before we get right into these games and the next pick phase as they start to get into the lobbies, start getting the game ready. Don't forget to consider utilizing your Prime subs or regular subs here with us at Valhalla Esports. That goes towards supporting the channel, supporting the streams, and supporting the overall league. And it guarantees you 30 days love here with Valhalla Esports, at the very least with the casters, because we will always love you. So I do like what Chris Solis is calling out here. Very interesting drafts. Personally, to me, I really freaking love HYG's draft. I'm a very big propensitor of somebody who likes team fight compositions. And not only is it a team fight composition that we're looking at, we're also kind of looking at somewhat of a pick composition. Because in reality, if that Jax gets really strong and someone's caught out, you're probably going to the gray screen.
Yeah,
So
I think
this is a very scary composition because Sejuani being able to, if she ganks anywhere, and we do have some pretty I don't know, man. This is gonna be oh
But I think, in my opinion, the thing that really matters is, are we piloting champs that we're comfortable with? And in that circumstance, I would say that I'd give the edge to FreeSM. We have
yep.
Ray on Hui, we have Mothra on Warwick, and I'm very confident that Mont Blanc plays a pretty mean Senna. I have no idea about Ornn, but if Deity's picking Silas, he's probably knows how to play it. And Ornn, you can play safe, and you're very useful at all stages of the game. It gives a team fight even a little bit of a pick because of how long the Ornn R can be. So I'm actually on the opposite end. I think FreeSM has picked for comfort, and picking for comfort should always be what you're looking for because you know the matchups better.
I think you're completely right. In that sense, especially when again, this is a brand new team coming into this league. They definitely have to start making the name for themselves straight out the jump. And if that's going to be the case that they're doing that, it's going to be more of the on them to be like, hey, we got to definitely try to at least show that we got our stuff. And again, as you already seen, the Ornn I think was picked because of the disparity in rank between the two laners up in the top side. And Ornn in general is like kind of like almost a Garen in a sense, where it's like it can be pretty safe to play and it gives you a lot of late game security. And so for that, I think it is big for. I think it's really big for the. It's big for FreeSM to get that win because even if like say how do I put this? One thing that made us win on Goat Kings a lot in season 2 was the fact that even though majority of the time, because I was a 500k player, or I still am, it was a disparity in the bot lane. We were able to play safe enough in the bot lane that as long as the top side wasn't also on fire, we could generally win games even when our bot side lost. So it was just like I can see potentially Deity maybe thinking about that and then trying to bring that same type of strategy into it, where it's like, hey, B-Sin, you may be outranked by some people up in that top side, but if we can give you something safe that you, even if you feed, we can still win. I'm okay with you being in that top side. And
Yeah.
so I think that's what the Ornn is for. I wouldn't be surprised if B-Sin starts picking up things like the Garen. If he's decent at the Darius, he starts, being able to be a little bit more combative, starts using the Darius a little bit. So I honestly think that the whole point of the Ornn top is that Deity has a lot of faith in his top laner and is looking to really push that onto him, and then maybe eventually help him become a better player by coaching and doing whatever to help him get and help him grow. I think this is gonna be. I think FreeSM, if they lose here, is not gonna be like a stomp. I'm honestly predicting a 2-1, but it's probably gonna go in HYG's favor.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, like talking about like what you were talking about with the top lane, it's like a lot of times with top lane specifically, the person who has less salary should always be giving something that has like some ability to turtle or an ability to be useful throughout every stage of the game. And you're putting pressure on the person who has more salary or a higher rank, putting them with the burden of having to create a lead. That's like really all what top lane's about. But you want to like double down. So like I really like what FreeSM does is what we did against NRO versus Mines is we doubled down on the fact that I'm not winning top lane and we try to lose as little as possible without dying and just be useful. So Beeson's like objective for this game is just be useful. That's all we're looking for. Just want to be useful.
Honestly, and that's really, and I'm glad that you called it out. It's like, be useful, do something, and again, that's one of those champions where it's like, hey, they will always be useful, even if. So like, put it for example, if you put a Scion up there, if you put a Cho'Gath up there, you put a Skarner up there, you put an Ornn up there. All those champions are generally just extremely tanky meatball champions that kind of just need to sit in the front of your team and just protect in some way, shape, or form. And it's like, as long as they have some type of armor, health, and magic resist, they do their job. And Ornn is even better for that because of the fact that he also gives boost to the team. I believe I keep bringing this up, but I always hear this stat on the LCS casting desk where they say it's about 1,300 gold in stats that you get for free from Ornn once he starts giving you ornaments. So it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
you're putting if that's the crazy thing. If the Ornn isn't losing, if the Ornn is going even with your enemy laner, even though he's turtling and trying his best to defend himself, and he's just now giving ornaments to your team, you didn't stop the Ornn. And even when he's losing, he still eventually gives value. So it's kind of hard to that's why I can see if people are picking FreeSM to win this overall, that is definitely for this first game. I guarantee you that's a good reasoning because you looking at the top side and you're not worried about the rank disparity when you know for a fact that they are piloting a champion that one, they're more than likely comfortable on, and two, it's going to be useful to the team later on as long as they can get levels, XP, and is able to somewhat land ultimates in frontline.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of like top lane is like matchup knowledge and being comfortable on a champion, which is one reason why like banning out top laners can be good, depending on like the top lane if they're more like specialized in like a couple champions or they're more a generally just fundamentally sound player. It can really change up how your strategy is against a team, in my opinion. But this most likely won't be a more topside centric game unless Vixper is playing for bonkers. I think I'm curious how like this bot lane is gonna go because of the Senna pickup is going to make it a bit difficult for Braum to actually keep his ADC safe, and also like Ray last time also counterpicked uh way into Braum because he could just like harass the Braum. So us like kind of counterpicking ourselves in a way. I know like yeah he has a shield and all that stuff, but just like thematically like Braum just doesn't have the shield for a significant period of time. He has all these other it's a very long cooldown at least early on, and he's going to be able to harass in lane. I'm curious to see how much of a advantage FreeSM's bot lane is going to create against HYG, and if it's just going to be like, are we gonna like stomp, or are we just gonna get a slight lead? Like, what's gonna happen there?
And
I think
important call out here in chat by HYG, able to watch but not able to actually be there and support his team because I believe he's the actual jungler for HYG, with Vixper subbing in this week for HYG, which
thank you.
significantly puts them behind on salary, but Vixper, no stranger to this league, can definitely perform in this role.
So that's why the Udyr ban was put in the middle of that. Okay, because they had that information for the Vixper. Even though I know that TJ, I believe, has used Udyr plenty of times beforehand, it was still a pretty good ban on the side of FreeSM. So really quickly, guys, before we get into this game and we get into the spectator delay, I just want to go ahead and give a quick call out. We have the HYG on blue side, we have FreeSM on red side, and you're seeing Jack, Sejuani, Aurora, Misfortune, Braum, and then on the FreeSM side, you are seeing Ornn, Warwick, Silas, Senna, Hui, just for the official roll call outs. So then you guys know exactly what order they're in. I really want to just say that I'm still in the HYG favor, just because I always will say this. Easy to execute team compositions or easy to execute team comps are generally a very, very good indication of a win for a lot of people, or at least for a lot of teams. And reality, HYG has been a pretty good team at that, where they get pretty easy to execute compositions and then they push their early game advantages a lot. I know TJ, though, is usually the reason why they push for those early game advantages. So that's why I think now I'm like, okay, this is going to be a little bit of a change. So I just want to see if Vixper can bring the same aggression in the early game that TJ is able to bring, and usually brings it pretty cleanly. And then now as well, transition that into the mid game and propel it to a win.
I can agree with like points about having easy to execute team comps and stuff like that. One thing is that I'm very uncertain about with the HYG is how the bot lane will perform. Because usually we have Marbara able to help out Jeffrey Crazy as a support, and generally stacking a two lower salary people, I think is not gonna work out as well generally, just because you can have one person be a support ADC, can be a little bit more hands-on with the other person's gameplay. So if they want to be successful, Dante Taco and Jeffrey Crazy are gonna have to be a little bit more independent and be making the right calls instead of having to rely on somebody else. Because before, Marlborough was in the bot lane with Jeffrey Crazy, and now it's Dainty Taco and Jeffrey Crazy, and I'm curious to see how it goes. But I have a bit more faith in the bot lane of Mont and Ray, just because I've played with Ray a bunch. I mean, he sucks, but like I know what I'm getting at least. But Mont I've played with a bit as well, and he's very knowledgeable and usually can keep himself in like a state of mind that will always be looking for winning and doesn't like ever really like, I'd say, completely collapse. Like everybody gets tilted, but I have faith in FreeSM's bot lane a bit more than I do in HYG. It's an unknown to me at this point, so I'm gonna go with something that I know is unknown, which I feel like is enough of an advantage for FreeSM to get the W, in my opinion.
Like that. And really quickly, something I just ran, like, this is actually this is away from that. Really quickly, guys, for the audience out there, if you guys have any funny moments, any crazy clips that you see tonight, or any funny casting moments that you guys catch, please don't be afraid to clip them and submit them within the Discord in our clip, in the actual like clips channel that we have, because it'd be pretty funny not to only get some of the hyphy plays, but even some of the crazy and funny moments that potentially could happen on the screen. So if you guys wouldn't mind, if you see anything, if something makes you laugh, if something makes you go holy crap, or anything hype as an audience member, please go ahead, don't be afraid to try to clip it and send it into us, so then we can make sure that if we can get highlights up on like the next seer or anything like that, we'll be able to get that to you guys ASAP. I think it would be amazing to be able to do that for you. So you guys can definitely help us, and then maybe even like say, you know, before the game start or something, we can show some of the like crazy hyphy plays from the previous week and stuff like that, but it'll be submitted by you guys, and that would be really awesome to do. So now we are getting right into the game as we speak. So you guys should be seeing that. Blitz, can you oh, there we go.
Big
First game of the season.
Gigantamaurus!
I didn't get the. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see the skins.
If Deity was here, he would say the last one, but unfortunately, he's not.
Well, maybe he'll say it in spirit for you, because maybe he's listening to the cast. So maybe he'll put it in the all chat or something, and we'll get to see it for you. You know?
Yeah. Maybe.
Maybe, just maybe.
But I don't know. HYG looking for a spicy level 1.
Easton, I hope you're
Beast-
paying attention.
And he is paying enough attention.
accept myself as I am.
Oh boy.
What's your excuse?
Well, at least we did something level 1 to keep us entertained, right?
For the time being, at least, because honestly, I kind of had a feeling that HYG would attempt a invade. Not just the fact that like they have a pretty decent invade team. Like no joke, if Sejuani can, if any physical attack lands from Sejuani, or if Dainty Taco is able to land the concussive blow, literally at least one person is getting killed. So they had the stackable CC on there that would have potentially caused someone to have their death. So I think it was actually really smart for them to potentially invade. And they do have the damage for it too. So the ward being dropped up there, pretty smart for them. But I do see the ward dropped outside the red buff for the Warwick on the red side. So that's at least pretty good. So he can see if anyone attempts to invade him. But I don't expect that because again, it's not TJ right now on the field, and he's usually a pretty big invader. So I think it's gonna be. I think right now Mothra is pretty safe.
Yep. Plus, you never know with the 1v1 of Warwick, if he gets low HP and suddenly you're like, oh, I'm gonna kill him! And then you can't kill him, and then suddenly you're dead. So we gotta be careful about that if we invade.
Yep, that's true. That's why I think they were looking for B Sin instead. And when they saw him, I'm glad that B Sin was paying attention. Ooh, nice little bounce from the MF to get a little bit of damage on the Mont Blanc, but we're already seeing a lot of damage being dropped on the bot side level 1s, and I think the level 2 is going to be first for potentially the red side. But now Mont Blanc getting caught, ignited, stunned by the concussive blows. A few more autos, miss flash, gonna be the first blood going over to the MF. HYG Jeffrey Crazy now pushing down, maybe to get another stun. Yes, he is feared away, not gonna be able to do much more as Ray was trying to get away, not gonna be able to drop any more damage, but they're definitely able to force that out.
A lot of damage. But Ray's almost dead, but
he's gonna have to back off. But nicely done by the HYG bot lane to be able to secure that first blood. That one bounce was all he needed to know that he had the damage to do what was needed to be done. And Mont Blanc though going a little too aggressive, trying to chase out on the MF, and ultimately ends up getting himself killed. But now we're getting a little bit of a trade here in the mid lane as Marbra and Deity are going at it once again. Though HYG is trying to press Ray but now they're getting pressed as Mont Blanc comes back into the lane. Deity now walking up to Aurora, flashes in, try to go in, spin, dash. Misses the chains, and it's not going to be enough. Both flashes used by the mid laners there, and that's going to be that's actually going to have to be the both of them backing off. Now both level 3. I think Deity is still looking for this.
Right, start missing skill shots so I can flame you. Thanks.
Nah, Ray's tightening up, but Deity under the tower, and unfortunately too big for his bridges. That's the Aurora getting the solo dolo under the tower.
It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy.
And I just want to point this out. Nicely done by B-Sen. Even with the rank disparity up in the top side, people probably like, oh yeah, top side's probably gonna be an easy thing. B-Sen's still, you know, mitigating, keeping himself pretty even with the Jax there. Probably realizing he's gonna have to lose some farm, but at the very least, if he could just stay within EXP range, he should be pretty safe.
No. I feel like...
but Vixper's here. B-Sin, you had the ward, and now they're going to drop you.
Fine.
But he uses the dash, able to get under the tower, gonna be able to get one more, stuns him up. Half health, and nicely done to be able to ignore that stun there and stay under his tower. B-Sin playing the game very well up in the top side so far.
Let's make sure we respect their jungler. No stepping too far forward too soon. Okay, good job.
Ooh, now Deity wants some revenge as he drops so much damage onto the Aurora, but now Aurora wanting to get some of it back. Nicely done in the trade there, but Deity still got to be a little bit careful. This Aurora actually is pretty powerful. I think it still needs a couple more nerfs.
I think B-Sin should fight that. He has a massive wave behind him. He will win those fights.
Man, Ray
as long as
was
now, though.
Ray was now landing the skill shots. He's not letting you flame him this time, man.
I know, it's actually making me so depressed.
And I saw the call on the chat, but saying keep sleeping on HYG. Yeah, you don't want to do that, guys. It's. I understand that you might think some things. Oh, that bounce!
If you can't tell, I'm sleeping on HYG.
Oh boy, man, and that's gonna be. I hope you didn't gamble points on them then, because if they end up winning this game, that's not gonna be a good look for you.
I gambled 60 points on FreeSM. You can see how much I believe in them.
I always put at least 1 G down every time I gamble. I'm like, you know, someone might appreciate my 1,000 points, but maybe I'll make a little bit back.
I'm gonna value better.
I need to make as much as possible back, guys.
You have no value on that bet because your boy Ray was put down 16K, I believe.
Eee.
on FreeSM or?
Yeah, on FreeSM he lied.
Oh, oh, yeah. It happens. Ray lying to us. I saw it coming.
I heard that, yeah, because I saw there was some chatter in the pre-lobby where it was like Ray voted against his team this week, and it's just like, are we sure that really happened? Hold on, Vixper's now here. Aurora ultimate stolen by Deity, able to be used, but now Aurora using his own ultimate, not able to get away. Vixper now going in, getting some of the stacks onto him, able to stun down the able to stun down the Silas. Not gonna be able to get any more. Yep, here we go. Mothra now getting the fear flashes in, jump onto him under the tower, not gonna be able to land any more. Both of these now, both mid jungles having to disengage. Nicely done to be able to keep themselves alive, but that was very interesting to see how Deity was able to utilize the stolen ultimate for himself, but wasn't able to fully capitalize.
Yeah, I've noticed one thing about, oh jeez, that poke is brutal. But he takes a tower shot in return. The thing I've noticed about FreeSM's team is that if it's a long fight, they're going to win. I think if HYG wants to win, they have to win the fight after their first rotation of abilities / their ultimates, because otherwise they have Senna, they have Silas, and they have Warwick, and all those champions have ways to heal themselves back. It's significantly more difficult for HYG to get back into a fight. So I'm curious to see how these fights are going to play out if we get team fighting.
I still remember one time where, both junglers are now here, but one doesn't know that the
revealed,
other is. Yep, Vixper's on the reveal, but now Warwick is here and ready. He then engages onto him instead. I'm very curious why he didn't wait for Vixper to fully engage and then re-engage.
Yeah, he could have waited. But they still get good poke. Dandy walked too far forward a little bit.
So this is actually really something you just pointed out, what you said, how FreeSM in an extended team fight ultimately ends up winning. I actually fully agree, and the reason why I remember this is because Deity had won a game because he had, I believe,
Ray
he was
pops
playing.
the
There he goes. It's over. Pop and gone. Ray was
somebody.
taking that kill, getting the kill. You can't flame him now, and instead he's starting to ramp up for the bot lane as he gets the first kill for the team of FreeSM.
Yep, Vixper coming back around. You never expect it.
Nope, because this time he's not on the ward, I don't think, anymore.
Yeah, he's not on the ward, but he's just sitting there.
Deity. Doc the ulti right now from the Aurora, but not going to be able to get anything. Deity now able to just walk it out, but Bonkers this time trying to engage on a B-Sin. Starting to finally pull ahead, but B-Sin building very smart with the Doormail. Oh, Mothra, here you go. Trying to engage, but not going to be able to get the gank. Able to back off.
There's the Ray I know. Let's go. There's the Ray I know.
You finally got to see him. You finally witnessed him miss the skill shot.
He missed like 2, maybe 3 skill shots. Let's go.
Oh, give him a little bit more credit, guys.
He killed Braum. I will say he killed Braum, but I was kind of depressed. There was sad Eli noises over here.
Oh, Marbra is being forced to back off.
And we
pressed under the tower. Deity not able to get the solo dolo, but this is gonna be interesting. Warwick is definitely dead here.
Yeah. But I think that's worth. We're getting a gold advantage onto Deity, and Deity is probably one of the better people we have to pilot a gold lead, which is very important. You can get a gold lead, but knowing how to pilot it and snowball it is very important.
And that's going to be very dangerous to have a gold lead on a Silas of all things, who's just basically going to jump onto any of your squishy members, blow them up, and jump out completely safe. And that's a lot of damage! Oh boy, the blowout from Ray was right there, and we do see the Dark Seal on him. He is feeling himself, and he's getting these stacks, 4 stacks already for the bot lane, as it's actually a farming Hui here. So he's going to be doing so much more damage soon enough once he actually starts getting these items.
I think we also missed the, I think Bonkers tried to TP their mid to help out, but I think B-Sin was able to cancel it effectively.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice. So we actually end up getting really nice play from B-Sin as well.
Yeah. I did not see that. That's actually a really great call out. I was about to say, Ray Flavor's in shambles, because I'm in shambles right now.
Hold on though, Mothra caught out between two different people,
Mothra.
two different members,
Oh,
but
he's able
not
to
able to
flash
get that
out.
last concussive blow. Nicely done with the flash to get away.
Barely
But
flashes.
this Drake now being taken
If
down by
Deity can clear
HYG.
wave, maybe they can rotate to this
300
fight. But I think this
between the two
this
members.
dies a little too fast.
Ultimate gets blown out.
Oh,
Aurora
no.
ultimate comes, and Vixper gonna be able to take that out, and that's still more members trying to get it. Blue team is able to secure the
We
mountain
fight
Drake, but they're
this,
still
though.
looking to be
Aurora
able to
doesn't
fight.
have R. I think
yeah.
they might be able to fight the. I thought
They're
they would
able
have been able to fight it. Oh!
Nicely done to land onto him, and this is going to be the Aurora taken out. MF ulti comes down, able to drop a lot of damage, but not going to be able to find any return kills. Marbra now going down after landing that stolen Sejuani ultimate from Deity. That was a good late return there from
it's
him.
so brutal. This combo is actually so gross. Set it away. Oh my goodness. But yeah, as I was talking about, Deity wasn't able to shove out the wave. We needed to wait for Deity. Mothra got a little bit antsy, wanted to jump on the dragon. It's
Here
fine
comes
if they lose the dragon
Vixper,
as long as they
hold
fight for the
on.
fight.
Ray,
but,
you might want to land the
they're
fear.
fine. Mont is too far back and not too far
Wait, but
back.
hold,
He's perfect distance from the jungler. Ray should be playing in front of Senna so that Senna can heal and auto. Senna has low HP. They need to make sure that she
Ooh, is
is
Vixper not
able
going
to not lose her.
stay around? He's actually going to back
Oh
fully
man,
off.
this
Okay.
poke is brutal. Deity's jumping on to
Ooh,
Bonkers. I think
caught
Bonkers
between
is
three
gonna
different
die
people.
here.
Here
He has
comes the
flash
Ornn
though.
ulti, dropped, able to knock him up. Bonkers able to jump away, trying to get
Oh.
away. Aurora now here to try to help out the top laner, but it's not going to be enough.
Oh,
And they're
man.
still taking him down. Mothra now going to be able to take the kill on the Bonkers, and now Marbra going to be the next kill as the ultimate is now stolen by Deity. Not going to be able to be used though. Not even needed as Deity is able to secure the kill onto his enemy mid laner. Nicely done, 2-0 for the side of FreeSM, and they're now propelling the lead as they are 2.1k up.
They're not looking that free right now, it would seem. Jeez. And my prediction has come to fruition a little bit. This bot lane looks rough, and the Braum is not doing a lot.
It's unfortunate because
Crazy,
it started
not
off
having
so
fun.
good. It started. Oh
man,
no, the
every
ultimate's gonna
time
get
they
dropped
hit
right there.
that, it's brutal. It's
Quay's just waiting
brutal.
for it. He has about maybe 10 more seconds on the ultimate. It might be a back
Look at
before
that
he can actually
CS
get it down.
disparity too.
Talking about Dainty Taco not doing anything, absolutely saving his AD carry's life right there.
He did save his AD
From
carry's
a
life. I'm just
bot
talking about
lane
the pick.
matchup, this is really bad.
I'm flaming.
Well, when you get counterpicked, it's also a lot harder into a double range
well,
matchup as a melee champion.
They picked
I
the
think they picked the Braum
Quay
just to
first.
Yeah,
and
well,
then
that's
they
the thing.
counterpicked it with Braum.
No,
Well,
they,
they
they,
picked
counter,
the Braum because they didn't want to get
counterpicked
countered.
the Senna. The Senna is technically the support here.
No, the Senna was last pick.
so
the Senna
it
was
was
the last pick.
counterpick.
Yes.
Oh, hold on. We got Mothra now engaging on the Marbra. Marbra's still under the invisibility, using his own ultimate, trying to bounce away, trying to get away now. But Vixper here, able to engage, able to stun them
Oh,
up, and Deity
Mothra.
getting on the low health. Actually, no, it's Mothra getting
There's
on the low
a
health. But not going to be enough.
Heroes up.
Healing is coming. Deity able to secure a killing spree onto
Oh my
Marbra, and now
God.
Vixper having to just back
Warwick
off.
Gaming.
Nicely done there by Deity, though. Gonna be a whole lot to be able to help Mothra live there and secure that kill. I thought that it would be enough, though, from the Aurora ultimate, bouncing back and forth through them to be able to get that done, but it just did not work out for him. And HYG, unfortunately, starting to falter just a little bit. The gold lead hasn't completely propelled away from them, but it's definitely starting to look a little bit rough.
It is. I think most of the gold lead is happening from this this jungle / top lane CS disparity for HYG. That's why it's not looking too bad. Plus plating as he gets another plate. But I think this mid and bot side is just so far ahead. It's crazy. And this obviously doesn't take into account the gold effectiveness of the Darksteel, which will give them a little bit more of a gold lead edge technically, but obviously not anything too like insane. But Mont going
like
pretty
to
far
step up.
forward.
And unfortunately, Dainty missing the ultimate now. Gonna be Ray
maybe
was
not.
activating his ultimate onto him as Vixper comes in. Can't be slowed.
Warwick's running
We got the
down.
TP coming in from behind.
TP.
Mothra's coming in, but we do have the TP coming in from the top as well. And that's gonna be the engage. Ornhorn coming down, trying to go ahead of the end. Gonna be able to get onto him. Ultimate MF, but it's gonna be Ray was going onto the rampage and now suppressed at the bottom. More members is gonna be dropping as Mont Blanc is dropped down by HYG Bonkers and Jeffrey Crazy able to get onto Mothra, but that's still gonna be Bonkers going down as well. 3 members for 2, and that's going to be an overall win for FreeSM as they continue to propel their lead, and they're going to be taking down this first turret in the bot lane.
Yep. FreeSM said, call an ambulance, but not for me. As they win that fight pretty, I wouldn't say pretty handedly, it was still a pretty close fight, but they definitely, they're the people who they want to stay alive, stayed alive. Hui is now 10 stack Darksteel, and we got Silas more kills. I would call this a win in FreeSM's book. Obviously, even since we got 3 kills to 2, but
I know that there's Merc treads out on the field, but I would like to see a lot more MR from these tanks here on the side of HYG at the very least to be able to help. And like I said again, oh, hold on, flash chain's gonna drop right onto him, stunned up. Jeffrey Crazy gonna have to flash over the wall to try to get away, but now the ultimate is now stolen by the Sejuani, but Didi gonna end up losing his life potentially here as the shutdown goes right over to the MF, which is what is exactly needed. But Vixper is gonna have to walk away. That's a very nice pick, a very nice reverse pick actually, as it was originally an engage onto Jeffrey Crazy, but ends up Didi losing his life in a shutdown going over to the MF. I like the way this is looking as they aren't completely out yet from the side of HYG.
Yeah, they got that shutdown back. I don't know. Did it go on to Jeffrey Crazy? Who did it go on to?
It went to Jeffrey Crazy.
It did. Okay, that's big. Oh, but he's dead.
But this is another kill.
And bot block steals the kill. Huge bot block by a man. Ray doesn't deserve that kill anyways. Ray already has a freaking Magi's though. I don't know, Ray. That sounds like you're about to die now.
I mean, he's 14 stack Magi's, has a Blackfire Torch and Sork boots at 16 minutes. I think the man's doing pretty good for himself.
He is doing good, but we don't want to jinx ourselves.
Hold on, Mothra ends up missing. Oh, he didn't miss the ultimate. It was just a Q that got reversed. His Deity ends up taking out Marbra, and Vixper's going to end up losing his life. Bonkers tried to help his team, but now he's just going to have to walk away. Can't flash, can't go away from anything. Actually, he does have the flash, but instead he decides to fight, trying to do a little bit more. So close to taking him out, and instead it's going to be an objective bounty claimed, and the tower goes away as there's no other members dropping for the side of HYG. Nicely done by Bonkers to be able to get away from that fight.
Yeah, that E from Bonkers is really good. Holding that E till the last second is really good. They have a lot of auto attack champions. Well, minus I'd say Ord's not really that much of an auto attack champion, but Silas and Warwick definitely are. Hey, what is this blasphemy that you're talking about, Blitz? You can't just like say it on stream? Damn, unluck.
He loves him so much. He pretends. He's got to know. He says he has to expose you to everybody.
Yeah, I have to expose Ray for the thrower and loser that he is. But you know, I'm looking a little bit in shambles right now. Not gonna lie, as I said before.
I mean, I'm the fact that he is actually the best performing person on the field right now is probably really eating you up inside. And
it is. I'm gonna get depression from this.
You're gonna watch back these clips and be like, God dang it, man. Bonkers engaging on to be Sin. Probably not the best thing he wants to do, as he does have vision on who is there, and Mothra now, knowing that there is vision around, decides to just back away. But that was yeah, Bonkers definitely want to try to be careful. Putting up the camp emoji. Okay.
Ray's CS compared to Jeffrey Crazy though. The CS lead is pretty big in bot lane and mid, and the top lane also has a very sizable CS lead, as expected.
But as you know, the Orange just has to basically exist in this game, and he has
not
value.
dying is winning. Not dying is winning. That is my opinion.
B-Sin and Ray was being the only two members currently unkillable right now as they continue to engage onto. Oh my God, definitely trying to predict there. Almost had it. If he actually got that, they probably could have full-on dived that Sejuani potentially.
I think Jack should double down. I think they can just slap him with their walls and team fight. Jack should double down on split pushing. I think he could bully the Ornn, but also maybe that's not the greatest idea because the team fight of HYG is really good. So I'm curious about how he'll go. In my opinion, I think you play towards your strongest lane and you play towards their possible win condition, which is, I think, let's get gold from the map. I think that's kind of like the best way, but it is also a little difficult with Warwick being on the other team because he can just run across the map really fast. So I'm curious how HYG, if they just stick with the team fighting, or do they try to pivot and say, okay, we're gonna split push from here because Bonkers is our strongest man.
We do have Deity
as I talk about
Bonkers, but it's gonna be the
Looking
Orange Horn
for,
called up, and now Deity having to turn back around.
Here.
Yep, Vicksburg now showing up, gonna allow them to just back off. Nicely done. I don't like the fact that the Orange Horn was used there, but it's a pretty short cooldown as we can see. It's almost already at looks like 1/8 of the cooldown returned, going into a quarter now. So they will actually potentially have it for this dragon fight coming up. Probably not, but it definitely will be up for like any potential barons or whatever they might want to end up doing. 5K also, I didn't even take a look at the gold lead. 5K gold up actually for the side of FreeSM, so they are actually looking pretty good right now.
They are.
Oh, here we go. The NA RAM. We're officially
Oh
all
yeah, love it. You gotta love it. Realistically, I feel like I would really love to see, probably. I'd probably like Deity topside. I think his TP is more important than RTP, but we're looking mid with Herald. I think that's good. We need to get gold off the map.
Yep, but now
Deity's forcing a fight.
End up able to get the
Jeffrey
big stun right into the middle of all of them. Marva gonna end up
sorry.
using the ultimate. Red team now ends up taking the Drake, but that's a big ultimate
Jeffrey,
landing
he's
down
gonna
from the
die.
gonna be Jeffrey
Oh
Crazy,
my
but
God.
not gonna be enough as Whisper ends up taking out Deity and off in the backside. But now the rest of the fight is gonna be going as the ultimate lands onto Mothra, and it's not gonna be able to land anyone as Ray goes unstoppable, able to take out one kill. Mothra then trying to land the ultimate onto Marva, but not gonna be able to do anything as the stair lands down. Mothra getting the killing spree, and another kill is Blanc take the kill onto the Braum. That's a big kill over the Ray once again as he gets that long distance explosion. Nicely done by FreeSM. They lose their mid laner, but they're gonna end up taking 4 and a Baron for it.
Yeah, what I guess I like as I was talking about earlier, the long team fights are pretty gross on FreeSM. And man, Ray was pumping a bit. It's just unlucky for me. My mental is in shambles, boys.
Can anyone
I don't know
confirm
if
for
I'm
me
gonna lift
earlier in
this
the stream, was Talia banned in this stream in this game by chance? Because that's something that this is reminded me of what when you said the extended team fights. Deity likes to play Talia, and there was one game where he played Wei, and
Not
he was
banned.
like, "I don't have enough spell rotations." It wasn't banned. Okay,
not.
It was not.
So. And it's like, so he's like, oh, I don't have enough spell rotations with Hui. So he swapped it to Leah to get more spell rotations. And that ended up winning the game for him. It's actually really funny because Hui in extended team fights is absolutely insane and has been showing that consistently in this game. And I really do like how their team sustain themselves through these extended team
I think
fights.
that's the reason why they picked Silas instead. It forces the fight to stay in a certain area, and then they have to try to run away. But by that time, the cooldowns are starting to come back, and they can chase back onto them. That's why I really like this Silas pick into the Aurora. It's like the Spider-Man meme where they're pointing at each other.
And it's just like, and that's the thing too, because Silas is one of those
Oh
ultimate
my
used by Senna and by Ray, gonna end up unfortunately not
There
getting
is
any
JT's
kills, but it does
arm.
back them off the turret, and that is them currently barreling down into HYG's base. That's the second tier turret. Aurora goes invis, ultimate's now used,
nice
trying to
speed.
jump in the middle,
Oh,
gets
she's
suppressed. Ray
shot.
was going godlike as he gets jumped on in the backline, but he's all alone. Can you finally flame
Bonker's
as he
getting a
gets
good
struck
play.
down by the Jax? And Mont Blanco going on a rampage as he lands onto Jeffrey Crazy, but Bonker's going insane. He gets a double kill to shut down onto Mothra, but there's another double kill over to Mont Blanc as he continues to chase him down. That's going to be a triple kill over to the Senna as now they're looking for Bonkers. Bonkers able to get that huge shutdown on the Ray was taking, that's going to be a whole lot of gold going over to him, but it's not going to be enough as HYG gets decimated onto the fight, and that is still going to be the base getting into shambles.
Ah, man. In the wise words of Hannah Montana, we get the best of both worlds. We get a winning fight for FreeSM, and Ray dies. Oh, sign me up. Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry, I just had to laugh. That was so funny to me.
Oh my goodness. And Senna popping off, and holy crap, Mont was literally like 1 HP from dying there, bro. Crazy.
That oh man, these extended, I hate watching these extended fights. It's already bad enough that Silas kind of forces the fight. Silas and Warwick both force the fight to be so much longer than it actually needs to be. Senna then with the healing makes it even worse. So as long as Silas and Ray on the way are able to get these spell rotations through, you lose every single fight. You can't.
Yeah.
And it's already bad enough that the CDR makes it that much shorter for both of them. So like, how do you eat? They would need another massive pick in some way, shape, or form, or a really big blunder
Which
by
they do have
FreeSM.
some, they do have pick potential. We do have Aurora plus Sedge. It's not like we can't. So they do have tools to get back in this game. It's more of a case of we're kind of running out of time. Orin is starting to get online with his ornaments, level 15.
Still
And
unkilled.
Senna is also late game cringe champion. And she'll just keep on perma scaling, which has to feel like terrible.
Oh, here it is. The center ult dropped. Gonna be Ray was getting another kill. Jeffrey Crazy gets caught up and dies. Unfortunately, that's honestly just another death going right over to the side of HYG. I feel really sorry for these guys as they looked really good in the beginning, but Marva gonna activate his ultimate, able to try to go ahead and get it, but the Braum ultimate also gonna try to keep him down, but not gonna be enough as Ray was able to slay Marva, and Didi's able to take out Daddy Taco. That's three members of HYG currently down, and it's not gonna be any more. Mothra nearly dies right there.
And then he saved himself. That was sick, actually.
Maybe it wasn't a troll. Maybe it was exactly all.
No, it was a big brain play to just assert dominance on them.
Here we go. He's trying to bait him in. Goes in the bonkers. Immediately kills him off. But the MF ultimate not going to be able to take out anyone, but does a chunk of damage right on the Dady. And now he's continuing to press. But it's going to be Ray Was doing so much damage on this as Mont goes godlike. It takes even more. Jeffrey Crazy trying to do more damage, but Ray Was going back onto a killing spree. 25 stacks on the Magi's, and it's just going to be so much more damage coming out. HYG just looking absolutely decimated, but they still have at least one more chance at the very least to save themselves as the base isn't completely barreled in.
I'm devastated.
Back
Ray
to devastation.
is absolutely just popping people left and right with his abilities.
So next game, I'm definitely hoping to see some smarter plays from HYG if there's this level of CC coming out of FreeSM. And just some of the CC, they're hurting themselves by getting hit by it and then carrying it into their own team. Twice in that last couple frames there, we saw somebody get hit on HYG and then walk it into a teammate. At some point, just be the shield for your team, take it into the other team, create the space, the distance from your own teammates, and then stop setting up these domino kills.
Yeah, that's why I was saying before with the reason why I don't like the Braum pick, because Ray would, like, anyways, pick the Hui to counter Braum, because Braum's shield doesn't have enough time, and like with a ranged champion, you can just poke down Braum a lot of times. At least when I've seen him play it, it can be very abusive, and the shield is not up for that like significant of a time, and it has a very long cooldown, so he can just throw out abilities while the shield's down. So I think we kind of counterpicked ourselves, like worst case scenario, both like with the Hui and the Senna. Senna also is brutal against Braum. So I just think I want to see a bit
Deity
more
going
draft.
in onto Vixper, has the stolen Sedge ultimate. Unfortunately, going to miss the ultimate from Mothra, but there's still two members of HYG getting absolutely eviscerated as Vixper is going to be the first one slain. MF uses the bullet time, trying to get everyone to back off, manages to do so, able to save Bonker's life.
Now.
But now, yep, that's just going to be an immediate Baron call
Made
from the
it
side of
bottle
FreeSM.
pushing. They really can't contest. Vixper just died. It should just be, it's in their name, free.
Quite
Shaking.
literally.
Shaking my head. SMH. It should be free SMH.
Free question mark? SMH. Like, that's got to be the new team's name at this point because
I'll
they are
text
not
Deity.
free.
I'll text Deity the ideas.
Be like, hey, so we got some new ideas, team idea names for you guys. Come on, here you guys go.
Yeah.
Yep. might want to change it to the Ray Flamers.
I am both devastated that Ray is popping off, but also like I'm patting my back as I'm crying because what was I saying during draft has come to fruition. I was a little uncertain about how the bot lane would go, and I had more faith in Ray and Mont, and I think it was just a little bit of a, I would say a little bit of a draft gap in my opinion due to matchups. You can like a team comp, but matchups as a classic top laner talk is matchups like are important if the person's knowledgeable on how to punish.
And that's very correct. Like I said, I usually just am a propensitor of it's easier to execute, and we've seen it's just generally easier to pick a team when it's like, hey, like they shouldn't be too much of a difference. And then we literally get into chat and it's like, hey, this is a completely different jungler than you originally thought it was gonna be. And I'm like, oh, that does make a difference. So like I'm in a weird spot where it's like I picked it out of the sense of like I'm like TJ's here, so I know like how HYG plays with TJ. I wasn't sure if Vixper. I think Vixper catches a lot of the same stuff, but hold on, Deity right now trying to fight off two members is Jeffrey Crazy. Oh,
we should be pushing this tower. We should kill it.
Yep, and the blue tower going down. Inhib about to go down. Misses the ultimate from Mothra, but Marbro uses the ultimate, having to go golden. Gonna be able to go get engaged on. But that blow up from Rampage, he takes him out. And Ornn getting another kill and still staying unkillable as Deity's able to take out Vixper in the mid lane or in the base right there. And Jeffrey Crazy getting slain as is a double kill over the Deity and the ace for FreeSM. HYG going down, and that's looking like the game.
Yeah. Ray played that fight really well too. At least make it so that HYG wouldn't trade one kill back. Fearing, I think who was it? I think it was Bonkers. Off of Mont. Mont was really low. That was really well played by FreeSM. It felt like they were in control after those 2 kills.
Congratulations to B-Sin being the first unkillable player of the league for
Good job, B-Sin. You did your job as a top laner. I'm proud of you.
That literally, I was saying that it's like I said that during the draft where it was like, literally put him on something that even if he loses, it's always gonna add value.
Yep, exactly.
It worked.
Yeah, it did. It did indeed work. Well, I'm curious to see what the switch up is going to be for this next draft. I don't know if we think it was the Hui that made the lane hell, which honestly, I think it was the combination of Senna plus Hui can be kind of rough due to the snares making it easy for Hui to hit abilities and the slow. So if they think, oh, it wasn't the Hui, which Ray played really well that game, in my mind, maybe the MVP. I feel like I'm cutting myself right now saying that. Sorry. But I'm curious how they'll switch up their draft and what they're going to ban this time.
So now let's I think what happened is this. So they picked the MF first pick, right? That Braum pick was more of a, hey, there's a very easy counter to a lot of the stuff on our team, which actually could have been Braum. So they were just like, we don't want that getting picked against us, so let's try not to. I think it was more of like, they picked Braum to not allow themselves to get like completely countered out. And it ultimately, unfortunately, like you said, it bit them in the butt at the end of it just because of the fact that, well, they had the counter.
Yeah, it can be hard in draft, like, as playing. Like, there's the pressure of... Wait, why is there a 3? Okay, there we go. It was 3-0
already getting
for
calls
a second.
for Ray's Hui to be completely banned, and I think every team that's about to be... It's about to be on...
Probably.
I think it's going to be on par almost with Deity Swain when it comes to bans. Like, FreeSM already has guaranteed 2 bans against them in the Swain and the Hui at this point.
I think you dropped the Melio ban. Probably. Like, I know Ray for last season was kind of known for the Melio.
No, I think that's a worth it drop, though.
Yeah, it's just like a little bit... It really depends on your draft strategy coming into certain teams. If you feel like your strength is worse into a champion, I think you should like limit their options and play what your strongest suit is. But it does not seem like HYG's strongest suit can coincide with Ray having Hui, apparently. Because apparently it's really rough, and they got taken out by the shed by Ray.
Really, I'm really excited to see what's gonna be like. We're already knowing the Hui is about to get banned this upcoming game. There's no way they're letting that back through. If anything, I wouldn't be surprised if they take the I wouldn't be surprised if they end up taking the Silas for themselves and giving it to Marber, considering that's one of his mains.
Mm-hmm. I
There,
could definitely see that.
there's a lot of changes that need to be made this time around.
There are some changes. Um, I believe HYG's blue side, right, Blitz? Is or did
Yeah,
they?
it looks like for this next upcoming game, HYG is staying on blue side, FreeSM staying on red side. Um, but no word yet. They're still getting in the lobby, still getting organized.
Interesting that they decided to still pick with the blue side. Honestly, I kind of wish we saw a flex of sides because Bonkers was getting a significant enough gold lead that it could snowball and make the game a bit more scary for FreeSM. I think if you have a strong top side, red side is really good, in my opinion. I think it's a little bit overrated with the first pick on blue side. If, uh, well, with the preface that you have a strong top side, it feels really bad to blind one of your stronger players, in my opinion, and you don't give them the benefit to like see their matchup and then counter pick it.
Yeah, a lot of different draft strategies and ideas they could try to go with here. Um, I get some of the blue side wanting to take that though, with if there's really a comfort pick that they want to take, if they want to try to get that misfortune again, or take the Aurora with the first pick again, put themselves in a little bit of a bind last game, allowing them to have the get counter picked in multiple lanes. Top lane, they might feel like this Bonkers feels good enough into VSN to come out on top of that matchup. But yeah, the problem is when that's the gold differential there, or the salary differential there, is that you really need to be just stomping him at Beaston, doing a really great job of neutralizing the higher salary player.
Yeah, it's kind of just, I guess, a thing in this league. The person who has a higher rank, or like AKA the person who has a higher salary, does have the burden of performance like on them. And I think that it's a lot. Like there's very specified knowledge sometimes in certain matchups that like you need to know or something that if those windows go unpunished, a losing laning phase or something can turn into even or good. It's just little things like that. And I think as the season probably goes through, Bonkers will understand it better and better. It already seemed like Bonkers, I wasn't able to see top lane that much, but he was able to create a significant lead, at least through CSing. So I would like for them to play more for their top side uh, due to the salary difference. I think you need to take off that burden of performance a little bit and support him a bit more.
And I see, again, there's different perspectives as a bot lane player. I think Vixper needed to be more bot side to help prevent the gap that you were talking about there with the Ray was um, and Mont Blanc.
I saw. I mean, I
Just mitigate some of that as much as possible. Not saying that they're going to necessarily win or stomp that lane. So that was just my thinking of that. If you can put Bonkers on an island, he should be able to win that. But I think maybe next time, again, they don't have TJs, they don't have their normal team. But I would have liked to see. And sorry, looks like we got the draft wall going. So my apologies. I'll cut short here in a second.
Oh, just
Um,
keep talking. We'll get for it. Don't worry.
what
I'd
I was
like to see
gonna.
Bonkers match up though against Deity and kind of say like, okay, I'll go up against arguably the best player on the other team and kind of neutralize that one. I don't know what the familiarity is with Marbra playing top lane, but
Yeah,
that would have been a strategy they could have gone.
I
Oh,
think.
like
Well,
performing lane swaps, you mean?
Well,
I mean, I
not
think
lane
you can't do
swaps,
that
but
until like 5 or whatever,
well,
5
they
minutes.
could have done it in between games.
Yeah, in
They could
between.
have changed roles, but going into your matchup and playing the matchup a little bit each week.
Yep. They did not change the first free. Oh, they did. Sorry, my bad. They banned the Hui. Good. Let's go. That's a great pivot. We pivoted to Hui brand Melio. We still want. We
And
do not want to see the Melio still.
I just want to
Apparently.
say this. I like the fact that I called it out that FreeSM Like it's gonna be they're gonna ban out HYG, they're gonna then try to take the Silas for themselves over to Marbra, and what ends up happening? Instead, FreeSM probably was listening and it was like, nah, let's ban that out on them because we got plenty of things that Deity can just pick up. And the Swain is now left open. So potentially Deity could actually get his main here.
Yeah. And we give Ray, oh, not Ray, we give Mont, sorry. Caitlyn. I'm just so used to seeing Ray play Caitlyn. So bad. And we still give Mothra his comfort pick. That's great.
It could be a support farming Caitlyn, who knows?
That would be hilarious.
With
But
another
it is possible because we do have Senna. So I think we're allowed to do that. I'm not 100% sure about what the rules are for that though.
I
But I'm
kind of
mean,
pretty
already
sure it's
like
always.
what
probably going on.
HYG is
I'm
doing
pretty sure
this
it's
time
still
around.
going on Mont though.
I mean, you could. We've seen plenty of double 80 carry bot lanes.
Yeah.
But yeah, generally, Caitlyn's not one of the supportive ones you normally think of.
Yes. Nautilus. Ooh, we got some lockdown CC. Nice. We're going with a double ADC comp. Interesting. And we hit the Senna. It is a Ray Caitlyn. We're flexing on the fact that Ray has been playing a lot of ADC. I actually do like it. And Malco, you called it out. I
You
mean, the
guys gotta
man's got
Caitlyn
great
mid.
predictions.
Caitlyn mid though.
Oh, imagine that'll be hilarious.
Ooh, that'd be kind of cool too. But like, you gotta some people gotta give me credit. This was the game last night when we did the seer. I think I was dead. Like I was dead on what the actual prediction was. I think it was like a 58-42 split in the free SM
Oh
lane.
yeah, man, dude, you've been like on the predictions with this series. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's just weird because this is like no joke. I like to sometimes think of myself. I'm like, what would I do if like I wanted to think of some crazy compositions right now? And like that's the only other thing I could think of is a support Caitlyn with sneaky traps, and she kind of does have some supportive capabilities. But then again, it's Ray who plays a lot of Caitlyn too. So why not just give it to him if you could watch him farm as a support? Like
I really like the fact that FreeSM was thinking along the same lines. They banned out the Trundle. They do not want to see a split push. That was something I kind of talked about during the game. Was the fact
taking
that
away the
Bonkers gets a lead, we could just split push and make it a lot more difficult for FreeSM. So they take away the Trundle, the Valhalla approved stamp of approval, backdooring son of a gun. Trundle is off the table, and I like that.
and the Swain still being left up allows Deity to secure his main here, going Swain in the mid lane. And I'm actually like, we do also see HYG taking away some pretty safe top laners away from B Sin in Ornn and Malphite. So that's actually going to be pretty big to see what they're going to try to do. And maybe they're going to try to pinch that top lane to the point where maybe it becomes so far behind that they literally have no choice but to lose because of it. So I'm actually curious what they're gonna pick in the top side here since they don't get counter. And Jarvan jungle, that's
I'm
actually
pretty sure
gonna be
that's a
very interesting.
classic Vixper pick. Jarvan Jungle feels pretty classic Vixper. Yeah, sorry, I interrupt you.
No, I'm actually just trying to think of what would you do to complement that on the side of HYG now.
We have a dive. We kind of have a hot pot going with the our ADCs so that they can just auto and shoot their stuff into our pot, shooting fish in a barrel, I guess. And we go with a kale. I think that is a great way. This is what I'm talking about. Even though it is blind, which can be rough, it's also this is kind of more of a putting the burden back onto B Sin in my opinion, because Kale, as long as she gets through lane and gets through levels, she's just like becomes massive in the late game. I am a big fan of this Kale pick.
This is a we're gonna flex our salary up in that top side, our salary disparity up in the top side, and utilize the fact that we know that as long as Bonkers makes it through laning phase, we will have some type of hyper carry, not only in just the Kale, but then the extreme damage that's gonna eventually come out of Corki too.
Beeson got Cassante. I know I talking to Deity that apparently that is a comfort pick for him. So I'm curious to see how this top lane will go. I do like this HYG draft a bit better. We have our AP scaler on our highest salary person, plus they don't really have the in my opinion, the burden to just like outperform super hard and have to create like a massive lead, as he inadvertently is just creating a lead by going even or ahead against the top lane because of his pick. And then we have a ganking jungler, which could be good, and we have Nautilus to follow that up, which I think it could be pretty interesting. I feel like this is kind of good into Senna. I really like how HYG has flexed their draft.
I think
Just because
people
Senna's not has no mobility. Sorry, I
I think
interrupted you.
no, I interrupted you that time. Thank you for continuing your thought. And because you're right, because of the fact that there's less mobility and there's a lot more poke this time around coming out of HYG, so they'll actually have ways to kind of weaken the fight before it actually starts, and that'll be able to help them to engage in fights when they're ready with Jarvan and Nautilus. So I think actually you're right. This team composition, even if it looks slightly harder to execute, I honestly think it's better than the first. I fully agree with you. It's a better composition for HYG than the first composition. And again, even though Kasante is a safer pick for BSIN and a comfort pick for BSIN, it could still be a pretty interesting top lane that we're going to end up seeing depending on how this Kale goes.
It would seem, at least from the first game, that FreeSM gets their leads by playing laning phase really well, at least in the mid and the bot lane, I would say. So I like the fact that we're looking at counters or ways that are easier to punish these champs. Like the J4 is going to be very annoying for Senna. She's going to have to be very far back and is going to have to expend flash at some point, and the Nautilus can follow up with that. So it can be very difficult for this Senna's life. And I think the Swain could be a little rough against um if the J4 just puts him in a cage and says yeet and just backs out, could be good. I'm kind of like still thinking through on how that would work in my mind, if it's a good thing or a bad thing. But overall, I do like the draft a bit better, just because we're playing towards our strongest member a bit more, in my opinion. And also, I guess to go back to what you were saying, Blitz, like a while ago, I was like kind of thinking about it. Is I was pretty sure I saw Vixper down bot like a significant period of time, and Mothra did the right call of matching, like just counter ganking a bunch. So that's also one reason why I think playing and doubling down. I guess in this game it's actually not really that bad for him to be going bot side, but I believe it in last game it would have been better for Vixper to be top side because they needed to create a bigger lead. And I think
But
they needed
but
to split push a bit more.
I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, I think Bonkers was playing a little too aggressive and not controlling the wave well enough to make Beeson be too far forward. Because basically any time that Vixper was there and tried to make a play, it was too close to tower and could just run back under tower for free. So it wasn't in an extended state to make it worthwhile.
I don't. That's also one reason why I'm not like 100% sure. But depending on the wave states, it's not like a terrible idea to dive. Like
We'll see
if you know
this.
how to dive, like you can dive with Sedge first, and Sedge plus Jax seems kind of gross as a dive. Yes, I do also think that it is a little bit rough to dive in Orin because of his W, but we could also like proxy. We can. It's just like there's ways that we can gain a lead. I also think that Sedge could have played for the red side, like Krugs and stuff like that, because Jax can just rotate onto Warwick. Obviously, it's kind of hard to say that as well, just because Deity probably had priority over mid lane for a significant period of time. So then Deity can just rotate up, and then they're pincered. So it could be like a really messy thing, but
It also goes back to how comfortable is Bonkers truly in the top lane and playing these top lane champs full time.
yeah, it does.
Do they know the matchups well enough to know if they can pull off that dive or not? Again, as you said, that's your primary role right now. But this is
Yeah.
Bonker's first season top lane in Valhalla, at least I believe. I
But
believe he's
with
been mid
this,
lane in AD carry.
yes, I believe you are correct, if I'm not mistaken.
So
My
I don't
memory
know
is
his
terrible though.
I don't know if he knows the matchups well enough and knows the
Yeah,
power scaling to different phases of the game.
that's
But
why I'm extremely happy with their pivoting. They can just play a similar style to their last game with, I feel like, more success because I feel like J4 will be a better brawler bot side this time. And Kale can weak side, plus she'll probably get an advantage during the laning phase. So we can do what we did last game, but Bonkers will be on a champion that has a lot more impact later on in the game.
Right. So you
So
think the Casante is going to have to try to bully early and try to push these waves, or
it's
don't push the wave and just try to push the
I
Kale
think what
off?
the way I would do this, especially in team settings, especially against a Kale, the thing you do is probably like, so they have a J4, so I'd probably do a 2-wave crash into warding river into recrashing on a 4th wave backing. It's going to bounce to me. Then I'm going to catch it as a freeze, and I'm going to keep that freeze right there. So Kale has to walk up, and then I'm just going to wait on Warwick, and we're going to camp her. This is a best case scenario. It's not going to happen in solo queue, and for sure you know it's not going to happen in solo queue. But as long as the top laner can communicate. But that's also, I'm not sure, in Beeson's wheelhouse to understand how to play the laning phase like that. So, which is one reason why I also really like how HYG drafted, which is actually I'm kind of sitting more HYG favored with this draft because of that pivot, because I feel like it plays to HYG's strengths. Uh,
Why I so people, all that you guys just heard right there, this is exactly why I always ask to have another caster, because more than likely a good 90% of the time you're not getting that much analysis out of me.
I'm
I'm here for the hype cast. That's it.
I'm sorry. I just go on absolute tirade.
No, dude. Well, one, you probably helped us get through a majority of the spectator delay, so that's actually a good thing. But then two, it's like that's the no, like literally, people are looking for that type of insight. Like they want to know, like, hey, what's the avenues that each of these teams have to potentially win? And it's like, again, we had to look at it because people, we were like, oh, top side might have a big difference, and it's like now we have to look at it in a whole different view because you don't have the option of safety this time around for the top side anymore. Now it's like you have to be a little bit more aggressive for yourself, which now opens you up to being ganked more. And if the top, and literally for HYG, is their mid jungle top, that's the majority of their salary. Yeah, you're kind of looking at like like you said, they're looking to push that salary a little bit more, and it's not just salary in the top, like overall just between the two top laners. They're like, hey, we're gonna basically combine everything together with top and mid and jungle and just send it up there and just try to play through where we can get this Kale online, and then it ultimately becomes that you guys are either fighting through a fed scaling Kale, or you're just gonna basically deal with some BS.
Yeah. I still think they chose the Cassante. Comfort pick, always a thing that I think is important. You can think about other stuff instead of having to think about your champion's mechanics due to muscle memory, stuff like that. But I also can see a world where Kale is so important that Cassante just says, all right, I'm taking you out of this fight. You guys can go 4v4. My team can beat you in a 4v4 due to, as I was talking, I think a little bit before about the lanes. If FreeSM is able to create advantages in bot lane and mid lane, Cassante can, I think, just our people, aka Kale, away and out of the fight, sacrifice himself for a 4v1 or something like that, or maybe a 4v2, 4v3, like for kills on each side. I think it does give them like the comfort pick, but on top of that, gives them the ability for the other side to like be able to completely carry a fight and just sack himself or sacrifice. Sorry, I just used the chess terminology instead of sacrifice.
I think you're actually I think you're making a good point at this avenue of the game. I think right now, I hate to say it, but I think we're looking at potentially a game three. I think HYG put themselves in a really good avenue where it's gonna be really hard to fight through if that Kale is able to get ahead, because even in like that game, Bonkers was still able to hold his own and was probably a majority of the time the shining light for the side of HYG in that last game when it came to sometimes getting certain picks, and showed that like definitely he can definitely make it work for him. So at this point, I think my vote is right to go with HYG this game.
Yeah, I am also leaning towards HYG. I do see a world where FreeSM does win lanes and can execute. It's rather I feel like more of a note if they're able to make that analysis of how the team fights have to go or how the map has to be played on FreeSM's part. I feel like a bit more during the drafting and during this like little with downtime if they're able to understand how they're going to have to play. I do think it is a little bit harder for them to execute. I can see a world where they win. It's just, I also agree. I feel like if anything gets extended, it probably goes the way of HYG because Kale Gaming is kind of tough. Like, she can just hyper carry, and then what can do? Uh, that's just my opinion, though. We
I don't know
do
about.
also have, sorry, I'm just
Oh, I
like,
was gonna say I don't know about anybody else, but I'm excited to get into this one because
yeah.
this was actually
Hopefully
this was
soon.
actually the matchup I
Sorry.
wanted. This was the matchup I actually wanted to be the first live casted game. So that was like I didn't think the wheel was listening to me a little too much, and it
You
was
know,
like,
your
yeah.
predictions are kind of spot on. You should have just said it.
I
You should have just
mean,
said, "I predict." You could just predicted it. It would have came. It would have came true.
I see the future.
Yeah. Malco sees the future big. I would gamble on the stock market if Malco told me. I would sell my house.
Don't. I am not a financial advisor, guys. I am
What's
not
the
a
YouTube
financial advisor.
thing? This is not financial advice.
This
Oh
this is
my
not
god.
financial advice, but if I was you, I would.
Insert shitty
Meme
like
coin here.
yeah, meme coin. There we go. I was blanking. Thank you, Malco.
Everyone
Oh my,
get the fatty coin, guys.
oh my god. Cough. Jake Paul. I mean, sorry, Logan Paul. My bad.
Oh, Crypto Zoo. Anyways, let me
Ding
stop
doink.
before I somehow get us sued.
Sorry. Watch too much CoffeeZilla. My bad.
Just a little bit. Just. Hey man, I think the consensus is pretty clear on some of the YouTubers out there. But now we are currently awaiting the spectator delay again. Once again, guys, we did have a Blitz said it in the chat that there was unfortunately a Runes remake and a quick P break that went into effect. So everyone is currently in the lobby. We're just waiting for the game to start.
One
I
could
mean, I think
say they were pissed off.
this man's got all the puns. I'm all for it. Please give me more.
Better pissed off than pissed on.
Oh Lord.
Someone argue different. I mean, what?
Oh
Huh?
boy.
Oh boy, I'll
Are
keep
we
it
are we
entertaining in here for you folks.
are we about to? I'm not trying to. We're not about to
I'm
get
just
ourselves
the
in this
entertainment.
fire. We're the
Malco,
entertainment before the real entertainment.
Malco's the real caster. I'm just the entertainer.
Cedric, is that you?
It's just so funny that when the jokes that he has in here, it was what was the other names you said you always come up with some new name every time you go up on the casting desk, and it's like,
Oh,
all right, I
I
gotta
have
do
to
this
say
now.
the Hannah Montana one.
Oh my
The
god,
best of
that
both
the
worlds.
best of both worlds is actually a really good one. I wasn't expecting that. See, I can't come up with puns off the line like that. That's difficult as hell. I honestly I fully believe that they give like the casters like in other places they just give them a script and it's like, hey, use this joke if this happens for like this particular champion or something like that. Like there's
Yeah,
no way they don't just have those on deck.
yeah. I guess I take inspiration from I guess less Captain Flowers because I don't feel like I am even close to that level of speed and like his like absolute just how he's able to analyze fights and make like jokes or like say stuff is crazy. But
That
I'm more
move
of a
is
OG. I watched Freak. Uh, he didn't obviously cast or I forget. Did he cast? I don't. It's been so long.
he
My mind
used
is
to,
like
yeah.
actually. So yeah, I watched Freak and him making stupid puns and stuff like that, and I just already liked puns. So I guess it's just kind of what I deal with. Okay, he did used to. Okay, thank you. I wasn't 100% sure. I thought I was going crazy for a second. Um,
A little longer than
but
a second.
just it's been how many years now? So I think I get a
Yeah,
pass on that one.
he's been on the dev team for probably like the last like 3 years now, maybe. I want to say
It
for
doesn't feel
Freaks.
that
So
long.
it doesn't feel, but
I feel so old.
but like that's so funny because today the
Quiet
game
young
that got
one.
casted for
I know.
LCS, it was Azale that was doing the shout casting this time around. And that was such a like that was actually such a shocker to me because I'm like I don't remember any time I heard Azale actually cast. So it was
Who
just
wins
so
the skin game?
Yes, who wins the
I
skin game? Oh, Empiric Asante.
Yeah. I'll always love me an
yeah.
Astronautilus though.
It's
Astronautilus is a banger. Nightbringer J4, I haven't really seen. Aetherwig.
Corgi.
As of right now, I think I lean FreeSM a little bit with the skin game. Astronautilus is a banger though, so
I'm
I just
sorry, I
don't
gotta
know
give
the
it to
J4 skin.
Corgi. They
Oh,
won with
Corgi
that one.
Corki. Actually, no, you're right. They do have those. Oh, the Corgi Corki. As long as he does the dance, if you know what I'm saying, throws it back, then I am 100% on HYG skin game. They win, like hands down, just because of that. No is no, the
DDAFK. There
dance.
he is.
Oh my god.
It's a cute
Inting.
little Corgi. Okay,
Uh,
so we do have Mont Blanc here. He doesn't know that everyone's there, but I think he
looking
actually
for
saw
a
them with a
level
glimpse and just
1.
backed off immediately.
Yeah.
Nicely done by Mont Blanc to just back off there, because that could have been
I
devastating
like
for
level 1
Arsenal.
aggression.
I mean, HYG is just known for that, though. They've been a
They
consistent
have Nautilus
team.
as well. So.
Yeah, and like you kind of that's like right there. If he hooked, like if he stepped up at a proper angle and just hooked, he might have actually gotten Senna right in that moment. That would have been
Yeah, my
terrible.
opinion is he should have just flashed. I think flash is less valuable on Nautilus than it is on the Senna. Because if we're blowing flash, that means we don't have flash for laning phase, and our hook cooldown is like obviously way lower than flash. That's for sure. I think it's just way less valuable on Nautilus than it is on Senna. I think I would have liked to see him try to force something, and try to force Mon to blow a flash. But that's just I think a personal.
I don't think you're wrong for that. Especially with the type of team that with the type of like bot lane that you do have, the Ezreal Nautilus, like you said, it would have definitely forced something out. Oh, gets pulled in. Deity getting a little damage, but taking a lot more damage
Deity
from the
rizzing him
torch
up.
right
He's
there.
got that pull.
Deity's got all the riz. Come on, he's that Crystal Rose Swain. He's got all of it.
Oh man, he missed this time. Unluck. Yeah. How did you get that? He rizzed up Ray. How else would Ray get on this team besides him rizzing him up? Mabra doing quirky things and being abusive. Good job. At least so far, it would seem.
That's why I kind of had a feeling that the Corki was going to be an issue this particular game. It's like even though they changed him around to be all AD and everything like that, it's still like what the hell. Bot lane not level 2 yet for the side of HYG, but Vixper is already here.
Oh,
Flash
in.
engage, barely misses, but gets it right on the Ray was. Ignites, flashes away from Ray. Gonna be able to land a
Ray's
hook
gonna
onto him. That's
die.
gonna be the death for Ray, even though the
Oh,
shield's
wow,
coming
that's
out.
a
First
decent
blood
trade
going
there,
over to
but yeah.
Jeffrey Crazy.
Well played.
Nicely done by HYG's jungler to be able to engage and capitalize on that bot lane. And with this being a double marksman bot lane, that's actually really nice because you can just take away those flashes and then just repeat gank over and over.
Yep.
really-
That's what I like to see.
I really like the Nautilus pickup there for letting them be more aggressive than the Braum. Going in, getting that hard CC, forcing him to just stand there and just eat the damage, and then that nice early gank. from Expert.
I will say though, I did see the canceled auto attack after the flash.
I know, I saw that as well. I didn't make any comments. It didn't matter in the long run. Mont pulling this wave. I think he should punish. We should yeah. Mont.
Nicely done, Jeffrey Crazy able to get the last
Nice,
auto.
yeah.
Nice, the flat.
I kind of
go
saw
right
it coming.
in like that.
It's kind of a little bit troll to pull that wave in front of your opponents if they're just right there. At least in my
Correct
opinion.
Camera going bot lane. Mothra
but Warwick's
is now here. Ray was gonna have to step up. Finds Dainty Taco, able to get him. Fears Jeffrey Crazy towards his own turret,
Oh
and that's
my
a lot of
goodness.
damage
This is
coming out.
why
Trying to get the
we get
auto,
Mothra,
but not able to give it to
Warwick.
Ray, and instead gonna give it to Mothra and gonna be able to take that kill. Double kill going over to the FreeSM jungler. Nicely done to accelerate Mothra on this Warwick.
I think that's actually very much so a win for HYG. Those kills going over. I think you absolutely want those kills going over to the jungler,
I
as opposed
agree,
to
actually.
as opposed to that bot lane. that matchup is still significantly in the favor of HYG when they return to lane.
I want to see
Oh, yeah.
Vixper just perma camping, especially since Senna just lost her flash and died. I want to see him perma camping FreeSM's bot side. A flashless Senna, she cannot step forward or do anything. And I think that the 3v3 should be slightly HYG favored.
Vixper is now here, but the flash was just used by Cassante to be able to avoid
Yep.
the gank. Nicely done by B.
Now we're giving top some attention, which is funny. Because I feel like he should be bot side. Or, I mean, he didn't really have anything to do. Yep, B-Sin's just wasting some time.
Yep,
Does he
that's
die from that,
unfortunate.
though?
He gets engaged on. That's Vixper now getting the autos off.
He
Able
lives.
to dash away. Nicely done. I think B-Sin is okay. That's really. I think he was.
Warwick's
really,
rotating up, but I don't think he should fight. I think we should just let Warwick get his camps.
Stay here. I would actually prefer that B-Sin doesn't stay here. That would actually make this.
He does have the ward in the bush, so he knows that, like, that J4 didn't sneak around or do anything. So I think it's fine. If there wasn't that ward in the bush, I do agree, because J4 can just re-gank that crap, most likely. But I think it's kind of fine, but I do agree. I feel like it's kind of greedy. But Kale's also low HP. Like, it's not, like, significant difference. But this is going even. This is kind of going how I thought it would. It's going even because we have Cassante, we have the comfort pick versus the scaling pick.
Vixper is back in the bot lane once again. Both still flashless, able to knock up
Nice
Ray Was. They're not going to be able to get
dodge
away
by Mont.
now,
Good
but
job
Dainty
staying
Taco not
safe.
able to get
Very
any CC
important.
onto anybody. They are now under the turret
Wait
as
for
Mothra
holding
comes up.
Q.
Ray Was, though,
Okay.
tick, ignite, going to be
Oh,
enough?
man.
Not enough,
Oh,
as he's able to
man.
live, so Mothra is now able to come in and take out Ezreal. That's going to be a killing spree over to the jungler. None of these kills going over to the ADs,
my
but that's
God.
okay, and they're looking to secure more TP coming in from
Corki's here,
Marbra
though.
as he's able to go in. Corki now, they're able to CC
Mothra
Mothra,
died
going to
for
be the
that.
killing spree as Marbra
Unfortunate.
able to take that kill onto Mothra, and that's actually going to be a slight shutdown as well, I believe. So that's pretty good for them to re-engage on there. Game's still even.
Well played positioning by Mont. He understood the way that they hard lose fights is if he's way far forward.
A little too
And
aggressive, I
he
think,
had to dodge.
for
Yeah,
Jeffrey
a little
Crazy.
too aggressive.
Jeffrey Crazy just going under tower there, ended up missing the skill shot, not able to finish off the kill. I know he wanted the kill, but I don't think you need to
Good
chase
counter
that much.
gank as well.
Yeah, no, great counter gank there by Mothra, right where he needed to be. Again, he's gotten all three of his kills bot lane.
W Riz. Sorry, I'm just commenting on the deity
Flamethrower.
Ray. I mean, my god, dude, I'm actually brain farting. Swain, why did I say this? Okay, I need help. Apparently,
It's not a game. It's not a casting game if you don't at least have at least one or two of those kind of like brain farts.
Okay.
All right, able to land the snare. Gonna use the
man.
ultimate there. Able to get them
Oh, he
out.
can't. Let's go, Ray. That was terrible. Sorry, I had to get that out. Gets me hyped.
The man got hyped for watching Ray, missed everything. Vixper now ready to gank this mid lane. Swain is pretty far up, even though he is level 7 right now. But Vixper being here, Deity looking a little too greedy for that turret. Gonna have to
Mothra
flash
is
out.
close
Mothra
by,
is now
but
here,
that
though.
was still a good gank. I still like that gank. We got his flash. That is important. On champions that aren't mobile, getting their flash off is actually really big.
Need to get a Vixper at level 6 so he can get that hot pot going.
Exactly. I think that's one thing that maybe we should be farming and looking for a power spike. But he is 6
Misses
now.
the
He is 6. So.
Ultimate Mothra now doesn't have that tool anymore as he was not able to land it onto the Corki.
I think something that I wanted to say was it's not like FreeSM doesn't have scaling. I just think that Kale probably makes it so that the scaling for the early late
This is unfortunate. The ultimate
Okay,
now
this
being
fight, sorry.
activated real quick. That's gonna
Oh,
be
man.
Vixper though, going down to Mothra as well as Marbra being taken out by the Cassante over there. But this Kale doing a lot of damage onto Mothra. Uses the ultimate, gonna drop right onto Mothra. Not gonna be able to take him out. Bonker's able to flash in, get him, and it's
get
gonna be
away?
continuing on. But this right now, Ray Was
think
and
they can chase
Montblanc
him.
pushing in Jeffrey Crazy and Dainty Taco. Able to use the Ezreal ultimate, gonna be able to try to get that wave thinned out a little bit, but still pushing in more. They're a little bit behind in that lane, but it's still trying to dominate here. Nicely done by FreeSM to
Bonkers can
still
just
keep
play
themselves
up to
ahead.
him. I think Bonkers could have all into him. Now he can't.
Well,
But
I mean,
he
can,
had
I
the
think, at this
HP
point with the-
advantage for
Oh,
a bit.
wait.
Oh,
Hold
oh
on.
no, he
Swain
pushed him
is
out
also
of play
healthy.
W.
Oh, that's
Oh,
unfortunate.
nice
He
hit,
brings
he
him
kills.
back in. Is that gonna be enough? But no, as Vixper comes in to save him, but Mothra's able to
Okay.
get the cleanup kill, and now he's gonna chase down Vixper as well. Gonna go ahead with the red buff, able to get him more and more. No flag and drag available right now. Mothra wants the kill, able to get it. Use the
Mothra
flag the wrong
popping off.
way.
Oh,
I think he was going for the kill
flash
himself
forward.
instead of trying to survive. He was trying to
Yeah,
knock
he
him
was-
up under tower, but just
Yeah.
needed to survive there. Stop the bleeding.
Yeah, I think
That was a close
what
hook right
Beeson
there by
needed to
Danny
do
Taco.
was he had a health advantage, and once Bonkers walked up, like walked super close, 'cause I feel like at some point he walked like weirdly close. He should have just try to all in the KO, in my opinion, because he just had such a big health advantage. I think he just straight up wins it. He almost straight up won it. But man, Mothra is getting really big, and we're re-ganking bot lane. I like
Nicely
this.
done.
Just as
Flash,
Mothra
hook,
flash.
land on
Perfect.
it. Mont Blanc accepts his
This is
death as he
exactly
attempts
what
to
we want.
fight.
Oh, they
But
went to
Dainty
Dainty,
Taco,
though.
unfortunately,
That's
with
so
the
unlucky.
Ignite, gonna end up taking the kill away from his laner. That's just unfortunate. When you already are starting to bleed, you don't want to give up any potential gold to where it doesn't need to be. And it's unfortunate, but at least they were able to secure that kill onto Mont Blanc.
I really like how Vixper is playing the gank angles. Once Mont Blanc uses flash, we instantly should be always looking for Senna. Senna's just really easy to get onto. But man, Mothra is gigantic and looking pretty scary, and skirmishes are where Warwick thrives.
Especially in these early games where you don't have a whole lot of ways to resist him, so it's gonna feel like you're gonna see this Warwick just jump on you. You're gonna be like, why is he doing so much damage? Not realizing that he is 6-2-0 at the current moment. So yeah, I can see where if Mothra just, you know, how he's actually been really good with these counter ganks actually throughout this game. If he just happens to pop up at a fight, like maybe 2-3 seconds after it starts, or even like if someone gets really low and he cleans it up, he's gonna be very hard to fight back against.
Yeah, I think one thing that maybe Deity has thought of this, but it feels like they drafted champions. Well, obviously since Swain came through, it's also a comfort pick, so I guess it doubles up. But in my mind, it's like Warwick is one of those champions, at least like that you counter gank really well with. So having Cassante who can extend fights and Swain that like sucks people of their health pool, almost said something absolutely sus, but having like long fights means that Warwick can rotate, and if somebody gets low HP, he can rotate ridiculously fast, and they can capitalize on a numbers advantage.
As you see right
Walking
here, Nautilus
pretty far
ultimate
forward.
used. We're not going to be able to get anybody. TP coming in from FreeSM as they're looking
Cassante.
for more. That's just enough to get everyone to back off right there as they saw Mothra coming down too. And that's what this is exactly what you mean.
I
As
think
long as
since
they
he's
can
extended TP, they should just go towards drag. Sorry.
Oh no, you're completely right. I wish Beeson
Free farming Kale.
stayed. Now Ray is going to be caught in between 3 different people. He's going to have to attempt the flash, trying to use the flag and drag.
Yeah,
drops
he's dead.
the ultimate onto him, and he's caught in between the Demacia. Oh, and that's just going to be the end of Ray right there. I wish he'd... Don't stay in places when you don't need to stay. You knew the jungler was just
It
right
would have been
there.
fine if Beeson was still there. I think it's fine. They can play for drag. They have numbers advantage bot side. If Beeson is still there, they can play for that. But since Beeson wasn't there, I think the play would have been you just rotate DD up to top wave, and then you get drag. They got drag, but they lost some stuff. And I think just Beeson being there as a numbers advantage. And this is why we don't give Swain to Deity. As I'm talking, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, because I just noticed that I was like, you know what? Let's see what happens. And then the solo dolo ends up happening anyway up in the top lane with Deity being able to secure that kill. That Ryla is being an absolute menace with Swain. Once he has the ultimate, he drags you in. You literally can't escape from him, and he keeps it up eternally at that point. So I think that was expected to have happened, and I like seeing the fact that Deity is showing up on this Swain, and it's really nice to show. It's like, you know, there's a reason why you guys banned it from him, and you should keep it banned from him. And he's showing that right now, and I would like to see that with these types of
to see
champions.
Dainty just go in. Oh,
And
nice.
he
Yeah,
almost did.
he has HP advantage. They should just go for an all-in. This is when they'd win. Oh,
Yep.
now we're getting
not
hooked down.
anymore.
Now we can't.
Yep, that's the poke out.
And
There we go.
now
Another
we
one,
can't
one more
all in.
auto. Not gonna be enough. I mean, he could have ulted just to see if he can get a little bit more damage off onto Ezreal even, but
Yeah. Our opportunities to... Ooh, Jeffrey going a little bit crazy.
There's a reason why he has crazy in his name, as he almost does a crazy ton of damage to take out
Yeah.
Ray was right there. Those Qs are those. Oh my God, those
that's
true shots.
slow. They just barely weren't able to get onto the Kale.
Pretty crazy on this Ezreal's actually kind of crazy. Like it's if he one more
man.
auto flashes in, gets the heal out of them, barrier used, gonna get the snare, but it's gonna be Ray was able to get the kill, but that's gonna be Bonkers able to get the secure kill on the back line as Mothra comes down, able to suppress, utilize it on him, able to take out the ultimate from the Bonkers, but it's just not gonna be enough as Mothra now is gonna end up losing his life to Vixper as it ends up being the ultimate that saves the Kale, and Montblanc now having to run for his life, channeling the great recall, but he is here. Flag Dragon gets immediately taken out. That's 3 people getting dropped on the side of FreeSM and bringing this gold lead within 500 for the side of HYG. Nicely done to start turning this around.
I love the fact that Jeffrey Crazy stepped forward there and just was like, I'm going to engage on them. It's just like, even if like it wasn't successful, he kind of probably already knew that they were rotating. Deity in a little bit of trouble.
He just took the turret anyway. He said, screw it, if I'm gonna die, at the very least, I'm gonna end up taking something for it. He's not gonna flash, he's not gonna end up taking it. Instead, he's just gonna end up losing his life. He didn't have flash anyways. But it's just like, you might as well just lose your life if it means you got the turret. So I guess securing objectives is just as important as not giving. And it's only his first death anyways, so I guess it's okay at the end of the day.
Your reinforcements have arrived.
Kazuto is putting fake news in the chat. Can we get him banned? Hello? He did carry game 1, I will say. Ray did carry game 1.
I'll put a let's
Strange
give him
words coming out of my mouth.
We'll silence him for 1 minute. How about that?
No, I was joking. Free speech.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
You believe in the First Amendment here.
Oh, man.
Here we go. Vixper being found by Mothra there, able to use the flag and drag to get him away. The pull there by Deity, able to get a lot of damage down onto Bonkers, but Bonkers now being level 11 on the Kale is getting, I believe that's the 2nd upgrade. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see how much this Kale starts to do in these team fights as she continues to scale.
Deity probably called it out and probably was saying, I want to face this Kale. He's pretty strong, and I think he can punish the Kale and her positioning if she positions poorly a bit better than the Beeson. And now that Corki is in his like really early game state, it's gonna be a little tough.
Ultimate,
oh boy,
that's 4 people around the Kale under the tower, able to get the ultimate off, and it's gonna be barely enough. But they managed to juggle the turret aggro just enough to be able to make sure that Mothra got out of there alive. Nicely done, but damage now being dropped on the Mothra, and Vixper might be looking for it to get a little bit of healing, but it's still a 3v4 right here. Swain doesn't have ultimate, but he does be able to, yep, there we go. They're starting to be able to play against it. Manage the flag and drag on the Montblanc, now getting pulled in. Ezreal getting some poke damage. Get the tower down, and now they can fully engage. Gets the snare onto him. That's going to be the life of Mothra taken down, shut down, going right over to Mothra, or that's going to be Vixper getting taken down. And now an extended fight, but TP coming in from behind. Cassante finds 2 people in the back as Marba is trying to get some damage down on the Corki, but not going to be enough as Montblanc's able to take that life. Nautilus ultimate being used, able to knock up a couple people, but not going to be it as Dating Taco gets taken down by the Swain. Jeffrey Crazy, even with all the damage he's able to do on his Ezreal, not going to be able to help in this situation, and that's going to be another 1 fight for the side of FreeSM.
Yeah, this is kind of what I was talking about a little bit. We are fighting without our Kale. I think that's got to be a bit rough for us. This is the win con that I was talking about with FreeSM. I think they win only if Kale's not there. But that was a really well played fight by FreeSM.
Honestly, at this point, it just Like at first it was a 700 gold lead, and then it just ballooned to 3,000. But this is usually, I hate 3K gold leads because that's usually when the game starts going back and forth, when the game gets stuck at this particular gold lead. And we're about to see it swing right back as B-Sin is attempting to walk away, gets hooked up by the Nautilus, sworn in, and now here's the drop of the circle around him, but he's able to just dash away. B-Sin able to keep so many people. I want to start seeing FreeSM making more use of the map as 3 people in the bot lane, and it's taking a while as he's able to get away, but he's trying to just get away a little bit more. Flash used by the Corki, trying to get it, and Vixper ends up taking the kill anyway. So many sums used right there. That was a lot being done, and now they end up getting this Rift Road on the top side. That's going to be the top turret dropped and given over to
gave him the double. That gave him the double charge thing. Because as long as a tower dies near Herald, it gives it an additional charge.
Oh,
really
so yeah,
well
he's
played
gonna
on
be
the
able to do
drop.
that.
I believe that is a thing. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they changed it though. But
they might
Herald
have,
might
but
just
gets
die.
the suppression, immediately lands onto him, and doesn't even get the chance to put the ultimate down as the deity is able to take out the Kale and is going to be able to get that kill. Drags in Jeffrey crazy, and that's unfortunate, but he does able to use the arcane shift to be able to get away. Marthra way too deep into them, and that's going to be the kill as Marthra's able to take out the jungle. Nicely done, as they still are able to take a kill, but it's still a win for FreeSM as they are still barreling into their base, starting to take down these turrets even more. That's still a lot going on to the side of FreeSM. Still 3K gold up, but they're still, and I honestly would say, deep command of this game. Oh man, this is I don't know about you guys, but yeah. That was a hell of a exchange there. 3 people in the bot lane trying to take out B-Sin as much as possible, and then it just ends up translating to, okay, 2 towers taken up, and 2.5 towers taken in top side, a couple kills going over to FreeSM, and them still being ahead in gold, still being able to just keep pushing forward as they do so far. I think at this point I still think HYG still has an avenue in this game where they can win. They're not too far behind, but it's just, oh man, FreeSM is just playing this way too clean.
Yeah, after that fight, they really have snowballed this into a lot more map pressure and destroying a lot more towers. This lead has gotten a bit bigger. I think it wasn't quite sitting at like 1,000 gold. I think maybe it was slightly 1,000 gold, but then it is ballooned up to 3,000 so far. So. And they have a lot more map control because of the towers and their vision. So
I really want to see, honestly, I want to see the first like real full-on break in this, in the sense of like what's gonna be that just kind of what explodes the game to the end at this point, because I don't feel like until it like blows up to like a 5 or 6K gold lead, I don't ever feel as if the game is out of the hands of the enemy team.
It really isn't out of the hands of HYG, and this is why we drafted like this. We can play around our Kale, and we can play for our item spikes. Exactly what I was talking about with, we're kind of fine with not being super far behind, which kind of rhymed, which is funny. But because of Kale's scaling, we still have something, and it's on our strongest member. We just need to have a 5v5 team fights, is what I'm thinking.
Oh, which they find Kale now, trying to slow her down, stops her back so she doesn't get to go anywhere. But Mothra's here, able to land the suppression, getting the damage down. And once again from Bonkers as they're able to take out this Kale. I like this. They keep finding the Kale, pick her off so she can't continue to scale. And now they're in a disadvantage of the fight. A lot of damage coming out. Ray was landing a lot of damage onto them, able to use the ultimate, blocked out by Dainty Taco. Deity though, able to pull in Jeffrey Crazy, trying to get more damage now. HYG gonna have to back off as they are currently at a significant health disadvantage.
Yep. It seems like Deity has told Mothra the mission, or Mothra has understood the mission, which is Kale is bad, kill her.
And now it's just gonna be take turrets, push in even more. I like the fact that they're starting to do like a 4-1 thing where Bsin is just constantly just switching between the other lanes, and you just have the rest of the team just all here. They're starting to converge now onto the Drake, which is a smart move, as Vixper is trying to move into the jungle as safely as possible.
Yep. Bsin catching mid wave. He can rotate really fast. Doesn't have to use his TP. Deity is kind of being a bully. He's a little far out from his team, but he should have enough HP. Okay, Dainty just flashes away. I'm not sure if Dainty needed to flash there, but better to be safe to be sorry, I guess. We're 1 dragon away from Soul already. Mothra has been doing fantastic on this Warwick, especially with his objective control. I saw the Herald. I don't know if they have the grubs, but he's gotten 3 drags so far, so
FreeSM has been
doing really well.
foregoing the other 3 grubs a lot, I've actually noticed. Both games, they only secured the first 3, and then they just forgo the second wave of grubs. So I guess it's just something that they're like, hey, we just want enough sieging power that, like, Bsin can split and be able to do a little bit more damage off on the side. But at the same time, it's like we aren't too worried about trying to secure these second ones because we could potentially put ourselves at a disadvantage if we go for this and they know we're going for this.
Yeah, I think I'm a fan of the thought process, mostly because how they change grubs. So I think as long as somebody gets 4, they get like a decent power spike or something. I'm not sure if they changed it like that, but just going for the first 3 and then not caring about it is kind of like you could just go for bot side pressure. Usually play for who we believe to be our stronger players or have an advantage is pretty good. Plus we got all the drags, so we can play for the other objectives once we got just the first 3 grubs. We're taking Baron, and they do not know.
They get it for free.
It's just gone.
I mean, they
Warwick
probably had
does not take much damage from Baron.
No, not at all. And he could just heal up mostly everything. And they're looking, instead of trying to back, they're trying to fight. As they manage to pull in Dainty Taco, that's going to be now taken down as he's trying to get away, but it's not going to be enough. Mothra able to get another kill onto his repertoire as he goes 9-4. Nicely done by them to be able to secure the kill onto the HYG support. And they still have Baron, so at this point, it's 7k up for the side of FreeSM. This is looking kind of scary now for HYG.
Yeah, this is looking a little bit rough for HYG.
And now we see the Thorn
We
Mail on the
need to try
Kante.
stem the bleeding and just try to clear waves and...
Vixper getting suppressed, pulled in
man,
under
he's
turret.
just-
Deity going on a rampage as he's able to get
Dive.
that kill onto the enemy jungler. Nicely done, and now they're going to continue their siege. Even if they don't have the items, like, even if they don't back for items exactly, they're still... They just have so much more on the HYG right now. This is absolutely insane to
mid-jungle
watch.
duo has been doing fantastic.
Wow, that Sentinel did a lot more damage than I was expecting to directly onto Jeffrey
holy.
Crazy. That's forcing him to back off, and it sucks because the scaling that could come out from HYG right now would be great if they were allowed to scale, but it's just FreeSM not going to allow that to happen. Still forcing these guys out and doing more damage. There's a lot of poke still coming out from the side of FreeSM with such great team fight and sustain. They actually really, like, there was a much better draft from HYG this time around, but it's still another draft gap in some senses from the side of FreeSM in the way that they're playing. Like, FreeSM, I think they kind of have like an identity in the sense of like what they want to do for their team, and it's like, hey, we want to be able to survive these long extended team fights with decent poke, and, you know, try to make sure that before we fight we have our advantages. And that's every single fight they've gone into. They don't do anything unless they know for a fact they're going to have a potential advantage or they catch a proper pick. And that's what these teams facilitate, that they keep picking. I really like that from them.
Sorry, I got mom diffed for a second.
Oh, rip. That's what it happens. It happens.
Blitz would know, but he knows the baby diff.
It's the baby diff. Yep, he gets the baby diff. You know, sometimes it just happens.
He's a more wise fellow.
Bsin just star walking. He's been just star walking the whole game, just chilling. Straight chilling.
Comfort is king. Apparently.
Oh, That's unfortunate. DD getting
Oh,
pulled
man.
in, but so much being activated. Big shutdown as the KO's able to take them out,
Kale
and
is
that's a big
pumping.
disadvantage. But B Sin able to get a
They
kill
got
onto
the Kale,
Victor, and
though.
Ray was now taking out
Oh,
Dating Taco.
man.
That's gonna be so much damage as the double kill goes right over to Ray was, and this Caitlyn also sitting online with the Collector and the Affinity Edge, definitely doing out some crazy damage. The TP now coming in from B Sin, able to go ahead and come back to help his team. He's been actually very good in both these games so far, as he's been a very safe top laner for the side of FreeSM. They definitely took a chance with drafting him, and look what happened as they are looking down for the first games of Season 5 Week 1 that have been actually casted. It's going to be FreeSM taking the first series.
Big. Ray getting a bounty in the end. That's funny.
Oh boy.
I think, I guess, to go on to the next part, um, I think Mothra was kind of my MVP for this game. His R's were shutting down the Kale. You could see in that last fight, it was scary even with the gold lead. And Mothra just picked him off in that last fight, and they were able to one-shot the Kale. When the Kale was pumping, that fight looked really, really scary, at least to me.
I was not expecting to see Warwick perform so well. So now I'm gonna be watching out for Warwick much more. Again, and the call out for them to be Senna with Mont Blanc being on Senna and Caitlyn, and then Ray being on the Caitlyn. That was actually pretty interesting. Not the same type of performance like we got with the Hui last game, but it definitely showed that instead now they were like, hey, we're gonna be more dependent on the other side of the map and see what happens. We'll be more dependent on our jungler to really facilitate our team, and then Deity just being Deity, doing Deity things and being self-sustaining. I think anybody who voted for FreeSM to win, you guys were definitely in the right.
Yeah, I voted needs more Mothra for MVP. I think it's kind of close. I think it was like you could obviously argue Ray. Even like game 2, he played solidly. His first game was obviously like a pop off, and then Mont played well. Game 1 as well. Obviously, it's a little bit tough due just to the draft, because it's kind of tough for him to operate on Senna, I think, with the J4 being all up in his grill the entire time. But the Warwick played pretty solidly game 1 to, I feel like, being there at the right times, had like good objective control. Into this game 2, I feel like he was very pivotal to their win because they always were able to capitalize on the Kale. The Kale was shut down, which was I feel like the win con of HYG. So I'm giving it to Needs More Mothra.
I am glad to see some Beeson votes in there. Definitely somebody who I think
Deity also
definitely.
does deserve votes as
Oh
well, I
yeah.
think. Definitely played really well. Always had a CS lead in each of his games, so I wouldn't be mad if he also got the MVP. I think the team played pretty well overall.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of actually. I like it because we're seeing a lot of split votes between people like who's voting for who. Obviously, right now it's Needs More Mothra in the lead. We have about maybe another 45 seconds before this is all over. Before the MVP vote's over. So make sure you guys get your votes in. But I honestly think it's probably gonna end up being Needs More Mothra. But definitely, Beeson, you got your votes because it was definitely well deserving in that game. But that Warwick both games was definitely the most consistent, I would say, between both games for performances. So I personally am gonna go for Neves more Mothra.
Yeah. I think the weak side. I also really like the votes for BSEN weak side king. By the way, shout out to BSEN weak side king, as you were saying before that he did well. I really like it. Gotta give the man his credit. Are we going to bring him up, or if he's around?
I just messaged him and I'm asking if he is. Didi can also throw him up. But yeah, waiting on Waiting on a response from Neesmore Mothra. Congratulations for winning MVP of this, and your team's going 2-0 over HYG. So it'll be really interesting to see how this plays out. So again, this was a division matchup, week 1.
Good start to the season, I'd say.
Let's see. All right. Yep. So we're getting Neesmore Mothra here in 1 second. Moving them up. If I can pick the right team.
Hello.
All right.
He's
welcome.
arrived.
Oh,
Hello.
Yeah. So congrats on that win. Or both those
Appreciate
wins. Great job there. You had a lot of admirers, especially of the Warwick, and your game 2 was huge. How did that
Yeah,
go for you
appreciate it.
guys?
I think it went well. We mostly just tried to play for comfort, to be honest. It's the reason me and Beeson kind of picked our mains. So, but yeah, it was. I knew that Kale was going to be a problem, so my goal was to just run Kale down. So
Very wise.
yeah,
Couldn't have said it better. Kale was definitely gonna be a problem. That R at the end was thick.
yeah. They actually pinged me off of it, but I just went in and killed him anyway. They're like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, absolutely massive. Malco, you got any questions for Mothra?
honestly, I'm just very thoroughly surprised by Warwick. That's all I gotta say,
You,
man.
you ready
That
for some
was-
lessons from him? Like, how you gonna...
Listen, man, I'm never going back to Warwick unless he becomes back the old point and click suppression. All right.
uh, I've been playing Warwick for a few years now, so he's kind of my bread and butter pick.
Well, officially, I already know it. It's gonna be FreeSM. It's probably gonna be Swain, Hui, and Warwick just completely banned against you guys for the first round. So hopefully,
Most
you
likely.
got some other secret sauce ready to give that same type of performance. I'm really glad to see you guys show up in this first game.
Yeah, appreciate it. It
Um,
was fun. It was very fun.
I got one question. I'm curious how was the comms like on this team? I'm curious. Uh,
Actually, we were kind of chill. We were just kind of like just talking about what we should be doing next, but most of the time it was just us kind of like ribbing at each other. So, but yeah, it was pretty chill.
yeah, that's good to hear. Kind of expected.
Yeah,
Um, well, I think that's it for me. I'm running a little dry on any ideas for questions, unfortunately.
it's all good.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Neesmore
Yeah,
Mothra. Uh, appreciate it. Hope to
appreciate
see
it.
you on here in the future.
Yeah, I hope so. It's like the first time I've ever done like a competitive thing, so
Awesome. Glad to hear it. Welcome, and to many more games and MVP votes.
appreciate it.
All right. I'm gonna move you back now.
All right.
All right. So, just all some very competitive games, but some absolute domination out of Eli Wood's favorite Ray was in game number 1, and game 2 needs more Mothra. In the game I'm sitting there going, yeah, that's fine, bot lane, that's what you want to see and have, but he just continued to take that advantage and just snowball it, picking up that third kill,
Yeah.
also from bot lane. I think that was maybe a counter gank there, and just kind of spinning out of control.
Yep.
But
Seemed
let's
like Mothra. Sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it seemed like Mothra understood the mission and wanted to go for Kale at all points.
Uh,
Understood the other team's win con. So
Absolutely. But all right, we'll look to get everybody out of here very soon, very shortly. Please remember to drop your Prime subscription if it's just sitting there, or if you want to give us a subscription, help support this league. Um,
if
see,
Rhea does a Prime sub or subs, I cannot guarantee that I will love Ray, but I will say I will flame him a little bit less for
We'll at
30
least
days.
try to.
so we'll see if
Yeah.
we can get to any other games live stream for you this week. Should have the Seer this upcoming Friday, Saturday. More games at 9 p.m. Eastern Time next Sunday, if not sooner. That being said, Malco, any closing thoughts?
Other than the fact that we absolutely love you guys out in the audience, thank you guys for all the FreeSM chants. Deity calling out his own team, saying that his team is cracked. I'm sure he's looking to definitely continue this streak as he currently sits undefeated. I'm sure that's a great first outing for FreeSM. Be on the lookout, guys, for the rest of the week as we're going to try to get the rest of the games casted throughout this week. Hopefully, we'll have casters and others available. From that said, that has been just me. I am Malco, your resident shoutcaster, joined by Eli Wood and Blitz. Always appreciated on the production. Thank you so much. With that said, I think we're good to go. I'm out.
Peace.
Have a good evening, everybody.
We will march into the night. Let the fear sink in their eyes. We will roar our battle cries. The oath we shall carry strong. Rally up the souls and shields. Fight into the bloodiest fields. For the honor high decree. The heavens is on our side. We will march into the night. Let the fear sink in their eyes. We will roar our battle cries. The oath we shall carry strong. Rally up the souls and shields. Fight into the bloodiest fields. For the honor high decree. The heavens is on our side. We will march into the night. Whoa. Let the fear sink in their